So good morning, everyone, and welcome to AMP WebTalk. Today we are going to talk about parenting, one of the very important aspects to build our upcoming generation. But before we jump into the topic, let's know about AMP first. I'm not going to take long time. I'll just share a little bit about AMP before we start the live session. So about AMP. AMP is registered in India and United States of America as non-profit organization. AMP has completed its 12 years serving our community in the field of education, employment, and empowerment. AMP has a vision to positively impact the lives of 10 million people by 2030. AMP's mission is to empower Muslims for the great benefit of the society in general and nation as a whole. AMP's vision is to be a model Muslim community which is advanced in education, socially progressive, culturally vibrant, politically influential, economically dynamic. Well, in past 12 years, what AMP has achieved is right in front of you. We have got school development programs, which we call SDPs. We have done more than 2,750 plus school development lectures. We are connected to 800 plus schools. We have benefited more than 275,000 students, and we have conducted 100 plus teacher training programs and workshops. Employment assistance cell, in that area, we have done more than 350 plus job fairs and job drives, and we have helped 20,000 plus candidates to get employed. We have also conducted more than 200 employability training programs, and we have also benefited 15,000 degree students. We also help in terms of higher education. So in terms of higher education, we have 800 plus higher education scholarship, which has been given out. We have helped 750 plus orphan with their entire education. We also support 250 plus families to transform their lives by offering self-employment assistance. AMP has its resource center in which we have 600 plus career counselors. So if anybody willing to get a counselor, they can always come and visit our website. There's a section in resources where you can always connect with any counselor of your field. We have counseled more than 2,000 plus students, and we have 50 plus documents on career guidance. And we have distributed more than 1,000 career charts to schools and other colleges. We also do awards and partnership. We have so far 280 plus renowned educationists connected and awarded through AMP. We have done 30 plus partners for skill training and job fairs, including state government. And we've got 50 plus partners NGOs for various programs. AMP's ground presence is we have got more than 100 active chapters across India. We are available in 19 states within India, and we have active presence in 16 countries abroad. We have more than 5,000 active members who are connected to AMP. Our online presence, we have got 125,000 plus members and professionals who are connected to AMP, and that's through Instagram, Facebook, Google, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. If you're willing to join AMP, you can always visit our website, www.ampindia.org/join AMP. We would be more than happy to help you with anything regarding to helping the community. Now, before we jump into the topic, I would like to briefly introduce our speaker of the day, Mr. Afaq Ahmed. He is Head of Strategy and Growth at FODEL in Dubai. He will be taking a live session today on conscious parenting and why it matters. Afaq bhai?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning.
So you're live, Afaq bhai, and
Okay.
I'll go on mute now. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning from Dubai. Let me share my screen. One second. I hope everybody can see my screen now. Okay, so before I start, let me give you a little bit about myself. So my name is Afaq Ahmed. So I'm based out of Dubai. I'm strategy and growth in FODEL. In the last 10 years, I've been into consulting space. So I work with government firms, I work with market research firms, primarily in the area of health, where I was basically advising government and international agencies on how to do policy research, how to come up with different policies. And then I moved to Dubai last year, and here I'm working with a startup now, and then helping them to have prepare their strategy and growth, and so on and so forth. I firmly believe that continuous growth and development is the way to life, and I am a firm believer of personal growth. So now jumping to the topic, I will be talking mostly in Hindi, and so that it's easy for all of us. And I will be sharing most of the aspects from my personal experience. So whatever I have experienced so far, मेरी पूरी जर्नी अभी तक ever since I became father till today, बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने ट्राई करी, बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने पढ़ी एंड देखी एंड देन एक्सपेरिमेंट करी, and then I will be happy to share with you guys, and then फिर उससे क्या results मैंने देखे and where I am in my journey, and then कुछ tips for everybody. I'm assuming everybody is a parent here, so and whomsoever is not a parent, I think they will sooner inshallah become a parent, so for them also it will be helpful. So let's start with, I think ever since I became father, I mean this was not, मेरे दिमाग में ये टॉपिक था भी नहीं दूर दूर तक, पेरेंटिंग आई थिंक ये इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं था. द डे आई बिकेम फादर, आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ अ सडन एक दिमाग में आया कि हाँ अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का टाइम आ गया है. सो नाउ यू हैव टू टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. आप एक somebody is dependent on you completely, so a complete life is dependent on you, so whatever you do, everything has to be done in a proper way. So गोल क्या था जो हमने सीखा जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे, हमारे पेरेंट्स ने क्या बताया, गोल ये होता है बेसिकली कि आप एक अच्छा इंसान की परवरिश एक अच्छी तरीके से करें, अपने जो भी आपके पास रिसोर्सेज हैं बेस्ट तरीके से आप वो दें अपने बच्चे को, और उसको बड़ा करें सो दैट ही बिकम्स अ सक्सेसफुल इंडिविजुअल, जो दुनिया के हिसाब से दुनिया के रूल्स को समझे और एक सक्सेसफुल इंसान बने आगे जाके. तो ये गोल मेरे दिमाग में भी था कि यार मैं अपने तरफ से मैं सब कुछ अच्छा देना चाहता हूँ अपने बच्चे को, एंड वट एवर बेस्ट आई कैन. बट चैलेंज ये था, एंजाइटी ये थी, स्ट्रेस ये था कि पता नहीं था क्या बेस्ट होता है. सो जब आप बच्चे होते हैं, योर पेरेंट्स गिव यू द बेस्ट, बट अब जब जैसे से बड़े होते हैं, यू गेट टू इंटरेक्ट विद एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट, बहुत सारी चीजें आप वहां से सीखते हैं, एंड देन देयर आर डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स. So but I was not clear, so since I was into consulting space, मैंने किया क्या, what I did, what I was doing at my work, I started getting lot of books on parenting. So काफी सारी books मैंने खरीदी, and then I started reading about it, okay, at different age group. So I will also discuss, मैं share करूंगा यहाँ पे आप लोगों से कि different stages में कैसे कैसे बच्चों का behavior change होता है. So right now my son is 3.5 years old. So मेरी journey अभी 3.5 साल की है. He was born in 2016, and ever since till today, it's like every day is a learning. So more than I teach him, he teaches me. So I'll share those things with you. But let's look at, for example, goal को एक बार देखते हैं. Parenting मेरे हिसाब से अभी तक की मेरी जो journey रही है, I think most of the things I learned from observation. So I observe my child a lot. मैं उसको देखता हूँ बहुत ध्यान से, वो क्या चीजें करता है, कब करता है, किन चीजों पे वो कैसे रिएक्ट करता है. So I observe him a lot. So एक जो मैंने लर्निंग सीखी, until you observe you don't know, कोई स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मेथड यहाँ पर अप्लाई नहीं होता कि आपने कुछ पढ़ा एंड देन आपने इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया. एवरी चाइल्ड इज अ डिफरेंट, एवरीबडी इज यूनिक. सो आपको उसको ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा, बच्चा कैसे रिएक्ट कर रहा है, डिफरेंट चीजें आपको ट्राई करनी पड़ेंगी, एंड देन आई विल टॉक अबाउट इट. हर स्टेज में कैसे डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स आते हैं जो हमें फैक्टर इन करने चाहिए, एंड देन इट्स नॉट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, कुछ मेथड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड नहीं चलता है, आपको डिफरेंट चीजें ट्राई करनी पड़ती है. दूसरा जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, जो गोल का बहुत मेजर हिस्सा है, वो ये है बी माइंडफुल. कई बार क्या होता है, इफ एज अ पेरेंट बच्चे काफी परेशान करते हैं, सो यू गेट स्ट्रेस्ड आउट. टिपिकली जब आप वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल एंड स्पेशली इन दीज डेज, जब आप होम वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं, nobody was, lot of people are ready, उनको they are used to this culture, but a lot of people were not ready on working from home for continuously stretch. For me personally, अब मैं 6 हफ्ते से work from home कर रहा हूँ, so you don't know, बच्चे को नहीं पता work from home कर रहे हैं, बच्चे को नहीं पता, and he has access to you, so he can come into the room, he can disturb you, so you get stressed out and you don't realize कि आप कैसे बोल रहे हो उससे, क्या बोल रहे हो उससे. So you have to be very mindful when you interact with your kids, क्योंकि बच्चों के केस में क्या होता है, देयर आर नो फिल्टर, स्पेशली जब वो बच्चे छोटे एज में होते हैं, कोई फिल्टर नहीं होता, जो भी आप बोलते हो वो एग्जैक्टली उसको परसीव करते हैं. और इस बारे में मैं थोड़ा अभी डिटेल में आगे और आपको बताऊंगा स्टेजेस क्या होती हैं, कैसे माइंड वर्क करता है बच्चों का, क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं, एंड स्पेशली ऑल दोस थिंग्स जो मैंने सीखी बिफोर बिकमिंग अ फादर, मुझे नहीं आती थी, एंड एवर सिंस आई बिकेम अ फादर आई लर्न दोस थिंग्स एंड आई प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, एंड देन हर एक एप्लीकेशन के डिफरेंट डिफरेंट रिजल्ट भी मैंने देखे हैं, जो भी मैं आपसे शेयर करूंगा। तीसरा पॉइंट है, बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, आप बच्चे आपको मॉडल करते हैं, तो आप जैसे उनको कुछ भी चीज आप सिखाते हैं, अगर आप वो खुद नहीं करते हैं तो देयर विल बी अ डिस्कनेक्ट। सो अगर मैं बच्चे से कहता हूँ कि सोने से पहले इट्स गुड टू रीड, और अगर मैं रीड नहीं कर रहा हूँ, दैट मीन्स माई टीचिंग वर्सेस व्हाट आई एम डूइंग इज एंटायरली डिफरेंट। और बच्चे को ये डिस्कनेक्ट समझ में आने लगेगा, शुरू में नहीं आएगा, जब छोटा होता है बच्चा धीरे धीरे समझ में आने लगेगा, ये कहते कुछ है और करते कुछ है, एंड ही विल लर्न द सेम थिंग। सो जब वो बड़ा होगा ही विल ऑल्सो डू द सेम थिंग, वो कहेगा कुछ और करेगा कुछ। सो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, क्योंकि जब बच्चा मतलब अप टू 3 years और 5 years अंटिल आप उसको एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड में भेजते हो स्कूलिंग के लिए, majority of his time is with you, with the parents, with the immediate relatives, with your with the grandparents. So mostly वो जो भी चीजें बच्चे देखते हैं वो exactly उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में जाती हैं, वो सारी चीजें वो पिक करते हैं। तो हमें बहुत ध्यान रखना होता है कि जो भी हम उनको सिखा रहे हैं क्या हम वो खुद कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे विल मॉडल यू कम्प्लीटली एवरीथिंग। इनफैक्ट मेरा बेटा मुझे हर चीज में मॉडल करता है। So right, the way I get up in the morning, brushing my teeth, to the way I work. So अब मैं work from home कर रहा हूँ, तो he also started getting up with me the time I get up and ready for work. He also gets ready and वो दूसरे रूम में जाता है, बैठता है, अपना सेटअप लगाता है. So most of the time he is watching some educational videos, और उसको play करना है तो वो सेटअप करता है. So he has his own plans, but he does the same thing and he knows that कि सुबह इतने बजे से इतने बजे तक पापा का वर्क फ्रॉम होम है, so पापा काम करेंगे. So he also plans accordingly. And sometimes the child in him, he comes to see me, so he does all of that. So it's very important. The point is modeling बच्चे करते हैं, तो जो भी आप कर रहे हैं, especially when your kid is around you, make sure that what you're doing, he is picking that up. So be mindful in that situation. जो चौथा important point है वो ये है, आप बच्चों से connect करिए. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम एज अ पेरेंट हमें क्या लगता है, हमारी उनके ऊपर कंप्लीट अथॉरिटी है, जो कि है, बट हम उसको कंट्रोल करने की बहुत कोशिश करते हैं. सो इफ दे आर नॉट लिसनिंग, वी लूज पेशेंस. हम उनको मतलब डांटेंगे, वी वैक देम. नॉट नेसेसरी, समटाइम्स इट इज, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम you need to connect with the kid. Whatever he is saying, आपको उसको सुनना पहले पड़ेगा, उसकी बात को समझिए, उसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को समझिए, एंड देन रिस्पॉन्ड. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, बहुत सारे बिहेवियर जब बच्चा बहुत छोटा होता है, हमें पता भी नहीं होता है, उसने पिक किए होते हैं, उसके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में सारी एक्टिविटी होती रहती है, सारी इंफॉर्मेशन जाती रहती है, और हमको समझ नहीं आता ये इसने कहाँ से सीखा. तो कहीं ना कहीं हाँ, उसका एनवायरमेंट हमने ही बनाया था. जिस तरह के घर में हम रहते हैं, जिस तरह की बातें हम करते हैं, जिस तरह का एटमॉस्फेयर हम घर में एनवायरमेंट रखते हैं, बच्चा सब कुछ वहीं से सीखता है. सो अगर आप उससे कनेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, उसको कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करेंगे, तो धीरे धीरे एक रेबल, जैसे जैसे बच्चे की एज बढ़ती जाती है, बच्चा आपसे डेविएट होना शुरू हो जाएगा. एंड स्पेशली अब जैसे टॉडलर से आप बच्चा चलने लगा, बात करने लगा, लिंग्विस्टिक एबिलिटी डेवलप हो गई. सो अगर आप उसको कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो फिर रेपल करेगा, कई सारी चीजें वो आपसे छुपा के करने लगेगा, विच इज नॉट अ गुड साइन. तो ये बात का ध्यान बहुत रखना है, बच्चे से कनेक्ट होने की कोशिश करिए. इट्स नॉट ईजी, बहुत सारा पेशेंस चाहिए होता है बच्चे की बात को सुनने के लिए, समझने के लिए. विच आई विल टेल बच्चों को बहुत सारी जो 4 बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें होती हैं जो बच्चों को हमें देनी है, विच आई कम टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, बट ये जरूरी है. देन मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हम डिमांड बहुत करते हैं बच्चों से, आप ये करिए, आप ये करिए, आप ऐसे करिए, आप ऐसे करिए. इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट, जो मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, अगर मैंने दोनों तरीके ट्राई किए हैं. सो मैंने कंट्रोल करने की भी कोशिश करी, मैंने कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करी, एंड आई फाउंड कि कनेक्ट करने वाला तरीका बेटर है. Every time I connect with him, I listen to him, I understand him, give him 5-10 minutes instead of just scolding him or yelling at him. He understands and he does the thing that I want. So वो करता है वही काम. अगर मैं उससे कनेक्ट करता हूँ, उसकी बात सुनता हूँ और फिर उसको समझाता हूँ, इंस्टेड ऑफ मैंने येल करके भी कोशिश की. मतलब समटाइम्स आई एम stressed out at work, so I yell at him or I just say things in an inappropriate way to him. So he doesn't do it. He also reacts in the same way, which clearly shows कि whatever I do, he does the same thing, because they don't know what is right, what is wrong. We are looking up to us what is right and what is wrong, and whatever we do, उनको लगता है वही सही. Okay, so I'll move on to the parenting, and then so these are the some keywords. parenting के बारे में जब हम सोचते हैं तो हमारे दिमाग में बहुत सारे वर्ड्स आते हैं, पॉप अप होते हैं माइंड में. पेरेंटिंग का मतलब क्या है, तो हर एक कोई डेफिनेशन, सबकी अपनी अपनी डेफिनेशन है. ये कोई एक स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड एक कोई लिमिटेड टाइम के लिए नहीं है। आप एक बार फादर बने, ये ऐसी रिलेशनशिप होती है जो पूरी लाइफ लॉन्ग लास्ट करती है। तो आप इस रिलेशनशिप में अलग नहीं हो सकते। वंस यू आर अ फादर, वंस यू आर अ मदर, यू रिमेन अ पेरेंट फॉर द लाइफ टाइम। यू कांट डिवोर्स योर किड्स, यहाँ पर ये ऑप्शन होता नहीं है। तो सबसे पहले जो मुझे फीलिंग आई थी, अ सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो सबको आती है कि अब देयर इज समबडी हु इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन यू, देयर इज समबडी हु इज योर ब्लड एंड फ्लैश, केम आउट फ्रॉम यू एंड ही इज गोइंग टू बी द एंटायर लाइफ टाइम विद यू। सो लव बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है जो हमारे दिमाग में आता है। डिसीजन बहुत सारे लेने होते हैं जब बच्चा छोटा होता है। सो व्हेन माय किड वाज स्मॉल, वैक्सीनेशन से लेके छोटे छोटे इश्यूज जो बच्चों में आते हैं, you feel anxious क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं होता है, and that's why you look up to your parents. They advise you, your grandparents, they advise you because they have raised a lot of kids, especially in the old days. And आज की parenting versus old days की parenting, it's entirely different. It's not the same. Especially हम parents like us who are like nuclear families living outside. So my hometown versus where I am living right now, आप अकेले हैं, वहाँ पर कोई एक्सेस आपके पेरेंट्स और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स एक्सेस मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम लिमिटेड होता है। तो आप क्या करें उस टाइम, आपको खुद के डिसीजन लेने होते हैं। देन यू गो ऑन इंटरनेट, गूगल, एंड देन व्हेन यू गूगल यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ। सो अब आपको ये नहीं पता कौन सी बात सही है कौन सी बात नहीं सही है। देन यू टॉक टू डिफरेंट डॉक्टर्स। सो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीजें होती हैं, बहुत सारी आपको एडवाइसेस मिलती हैं। बट मुझे भी बहुत सारी एडवाइसेस मिली थी, बट आई वुड से कि इन टर्म्स ऑफ वॉट एवर यू गेटिंग, मेक श्योर दैट आप अपने बच्चे को सबसे अच्छे से जानते हैं। यू नो योर किड बेटर देन एनीबडी एल्स। ओके, सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो कि आपका बच्चा किस तरीके का है। सो हर बच्चे का अपना तरीका होता है। मतलब अगर आप बच्चों को देखेंगे, कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जो बहुत विजुअल होते हैं, जिनको आप चीजें दिखाइए तो उनको समझ में आता है। बहुत से बच्चे होते हैं उनको सुन के समझ आता है। सो आप वो परसीव करते हैं इन्फॉर्मेशन बाय रिसाइटिंग, बाय लिसनिंग अ लॉट ऑफ वर्ड्स। तो आप उनसे तेज बात करिए, उनके सामने वर्ड्स लाउड होने चाहिए सो दैट दे कैप्चर। कई बच्चे क्या होते हैं, उनको टच करना, फीलिंग करना बहुत इमोशनल होते हैं, तो वो वैसे समझते हैं। तो ये तीनों तरीके के बच्चे होते हैं, बट मेजोरिटी अगर आप देखोगे तो विजुअल सबसे ज्यादा होता है, फिर ऑडिटरी, फिर कैनेस्थेटिक। एंड हर बच्चा के अंदर ये तीनों चीजों का पोटेंशियल होता है। जितना ज्यादा आप एक्सपोजर जिस चीज का देंगे वो ज्यादा डेवलप होता जाएगा। एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ये देखा जाता है कि विजुअल मेमोरी बहुत ज्यादा रिटेन करते हैं बच्चे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप ये देखेंगे कि आपने कोई मूवी देखी है तो आपको वो याद नहीं करनी पड़ती है, ऑटोमेटिकली याद हो जाती है, सालों तक याद रहती है। लेकिन जो सबसे डीप लर्निंग होती है वो काइनेस्थेटिक होती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपने बचपन में साइकिल चलाना सीख लिया या स्विमिंग सीख ली या गाड़ी चलाना सीख लिया, वो आपको रिवाइज नहीं करना पड़ता है, आपको हमेशा याद रहता है, आप कभी भूलते नहीं। तो अब मैं थोड़ा सा आपको स्टेजेस के बारे में बताना चाहूंगा कि डिफरेंट स्टेजेस क्या होती हैं हर स्टेज पे, क्योंकि आई डोंट नो यहाँ पर मोस्टली आई एम अज्यूमिंग ज्यादातर लोग के बच्चे हैं, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप्स में होंगे वो बच्चे। सो आई विल टेल अप के लिए मेरे केस में ये है कि माय सन इज 3.5, सो ही इज एट अ चाइल्डिश स्टेज राइट नाउ। एंड कुछ लोगों के बच्चे टीनेज स्टेट में होंगे, कुछ लोगों के एडल्ट भी हो गए होंगे माशाल्लाह। सो आई विल टॉक अबाउट डिफरेंट स्टेजेस एंड डिफरेंट स्टेजेस में इफेक्ट क्या पड़ता है। तो मेरे केस में आई थिंक जो चाइल्डिश स्टेज है, देयर आर 3 डिफरेंट स्टेजेस। फर्स्ट इज द चाइल्डिश स्टेज, जब बच्चा 9-10 साल तक चाइल्ड रहता है। फिर उसके बाद 12 से 13 साल की उम्र में जब वो टीनेजर के 13 इयर्स में जब वो टीनेज में एंटर करता है, देयर इज अ डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप, उसका डिसीजन मेकिंग क्राइटेरिया, डिफरेंट थॉट प्रोसेस होता है बच्चों का, एंड देन दे बिकम एन एडल्ट। सो फाइनली थर्ड स्टेज में जाता है व्हेन दे आर एडल्ट। तो बात करते हैं थोड़ा चाइल्ड स्टेज की, जो बहुत क्रिटिकल होती है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है। कई सारी चीजें जो मेरे अंदर हैं, मेरे बिहेवियर में हैं, वो मैंने शायद अपने चाइल्डहुड में एक्वायर करी थी, एंड देन आज मुझे वो बातें समझ आती हैं बिकॉज आई कैन कनेक्ट टू इट व्हेन आई स्टडीड अबाउट दिस। जब मैंने इन चीजों के बारे में पढ़ा, देन आई अंडरस्टैंड अच्छा व्हाई आई डू व्हाट आई डू, व्हाई आई लाइक सर्टेन थिंग्स, व्हाई आई डोंट लाइक सर्टेन थिंग्स, व्हाई आई हैव अ फियर ऑफ स्टेज, व्हाई आई हैव अ फियर ऑफ पब्लिक स्पीकिंग, व्हाई आई हैव अ फियर, व्हाटएवर फियर्स आई हैव, व्हाट आई हैड। एंड देन जब आपने उन चीजों को जान लिया, देन यू नो हाउ टू करेक्ट इट। तो सबसे पहली स्टेज जो चाइल्ड स्टेज होती है, उसमें होता क्या है, अगर आप बच्चे को देखेंगे, मतलब बच्चा दुनिया में आता है, ही इज कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन यू। मतलब हर चीज के लिए वो आप पे डिपेंडेंट है, ही इज लुकिंग अप टू यू। तो शुरू में कम्युनिकेशन आप कैसे करते हो, अपने जेस्चर से करते हो। व्हेन द किड इज वेरी स्मॉल, यू लुक इनटू हिज आईज, यू पास स्माइल, यू move your hands. So ये सारे gestures, the tone of your voice, so he cannot communicate back to you through the linguistic because वो ability अभी develop नहीं हुई जब बच्चा बहुत छोटा होता है, but he can communicate. He passes a smile when you pass a smile, he moves his hands, he moves his legs, so all that happens. So what I am trying to convey here is कि जब बच्चा जैसे ही दुनिया में आता है, एंड इवन इन द वॉर्म, बच्चा के अंदर ब्रेन तो डेवलप होना शुरू हो चुका होता है, ब्रेन डेवलप हो चुका होता है, एंड देन ये 9 साल तक ब्रेन का फुल फ्लेज डेवलपमेंट होता है। तो ये क्रिटिकल 8 से 9 साल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं। आई मीन डिफरेंट थ्योरीज हैं, कहीं पर 7 साल बताया गया है, कहीं पर 9 साल बताया गया है, बट लेट्स अज्यूम कि 10 साल तक बच्चे का ब्रेन डेवलप हो रहा है। तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि हम उसको क्या चीजें सिखा रहे हैं, क्या बता रहे हैं, क्योंकि हर चीज बच्चा स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड परसीव करता है, उसको सही और गलत की पहचान नहीं होती है, वो पूरा डिपेंडेंट होता है आपके ऊपर। अब इस स्टेज में जब बच्चा बड़ा हो रहा होता है, ये बहुत क्यूरियस स्टेज होती है। तो अगर आप देखेंगे बच्चों को, छोटे बच्चे क्या होते हैं, उनके लिए हर चीज व्हाट इज इट, हर चीज को जानना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, क्योंकि इस टाइम उनके वर्ड का कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा होता है, अपना वर्ड, अपनी दुनिया बना रहे होते हैं, राइट। सो हर चीज, ये क्या है, ये क्या है, ये क्या है, सो यू विल बी बम्बार्डेड विद लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन। सो मेरा बच्चा भी बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछता है, एंड कुछ क्वेश्चन ऐसे पूछता है जो मुझे पता भी नहीं है। तो आइडिया ये नहीं है कि अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो आप उससे झूठ बोल दें, या आप उससे कहते हैं कुछ और जवाब दे दें। इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू से कि बेटा मुझे नहीं पता, लेट मी चेक एंड गेट बैक टू यू, या मैं आपको बताऊंगा, मुझे पता करना है, या जो बेस्ट पॉसिबल आंसर आपको पता, आपसे बता सकते हैं। तो लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन आएंगे, आपको कभी भी रेस्टलेस नहीं होना चाहिए, पेशेंस नहीं खोना चाहिए बच्चे के साथ। यू हैव टू लिसन टू हिम। अगर आप सुनेंगे नहीं बच्चे को, तो दैट्स वेयर अ डिस्कनेक्ट हैपेंस, एंड बच्चा जो है, ही विल लुक आफ्टर द आंसर्स टू दोस क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम समवेयर एल्स, from someone else, तो वो थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है। इट शुड कम टू यू सो दैट यू आर अवेयर आपका बच्चा कर क्या रहा है। व्हाट होता है, व्हाई होता है। सो सिर्फ व्हाट पे बच्चों की दुनिया खत्म नहीं होती है, अच्छा ऐसा क्यों होता है, अगर ये है तो क्यों है। हर चीज पे क्वेश्चन आएंगे, उनके रिलीजन पे क्वेश्चन आएंगे। आप जब उनको पढ़ाना शुरू करोगे, नमाज क्यों पढ़नी चाहिए, तो वो उस पे क्वेश्चन आएंगे। अल्लाह मियाँ कहाँ रहते हैं, इससे ये क्वेश्चन आएंगे। कहाँ हैं, कौन है। सो यू शुड बी रेडी टू गिव देम एन आंसर। बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आएंगे, बहुत फनी क्वेश्चन भी होते हैं, बहुत क्वेश्चंस का कोई लॉजिक, कोई सेंस होता नहीं है, बट क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, एंड यू हैव टू मेक गिव देम एन आंसर, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन देम, एंड दैट्स वेयर, सो दैट उनकी क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं, द पॉइंट इज बच्चों की क्यूरियोसिटी को किल नहीं करना चाहिए। बच्चे बहुत क्रिएटिव स्टेज में होते हैं, जब ये चाइल्डिश स्टेज होती है, सबसे क्रिएटिव स्टेज होती है। सो कोई फिल्टर्स नहीं होते हैं, कोई डर नहीं होता है, कोई कंप्लायंस नहीं होता है। सो दे आर फ्री विल से बच्चे ऑपरेट करते हैं। अगर उनका मन है इन द मिडिल ऑफ सम गैदरिंग, उनको हंसने का मन है तो वो हंसेंगे, अगर उनको कुछ वॉल पे ड्राइंग करनी है तो वो करेंगे। कोई रेस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं होते हैं, बिकॉज उन्होंने अभी सीखी नहीं है रेस्ट्रिक्शन हम सिखाते जाते हैं, रूल्स हम बताते जाते हैं। बट इस टाइम बहुत फ्री विल होती है, बहुत क्रिएटिव स्टेज होती है। तो कई बार ये, मतलब प्रैक्टिकली फॉर मी ऑल्सो, अगर मुझे कुछ चीजें, कई सारी चीजें मैं अपने बच्चे से सीखता हूँ, वो मुझे सिखाता है एक किसी मोमेंट में खुश कैसे रहते हैं। दुनिया भर में अभी इस टाइम इश्यूज चल रहे हैं, सारा प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं, सब कुछ लॉकडाउन है, बट ही इज टेलिंग मी द सिंपल प्लेजर्स ऑफ लाइफ। बिना वजह के हंसते कैसे हैं, कॉन्सेंट्रेट कैसे करते हैं जो भी चीज वो करता है। सो ही इज टू मच इनटू इट, इज कंप्लीटली इन्वॉल्व, इवन इफ इज प्लेइंग और इवन इफ इज ड्राइंग। सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आई लर्न फ्रॉम हिम। सब कुछ वो एक मोमेंट में कैसे रहते हैं, कैसे खुश रहते हैं, बच्चा हमें सिखाता है। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हम भागते रहते हैं पास्ट में, फ्यूचर में, बट ये बच्चा हमसे सिखाता है। और हमें भी बच्चे की क्यूरियोसिटी को अप्रिशिएट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये वो सब कुछ क्रिएट कर रहा है, बहुत क्रिएटिव स्टेज में होता है इस टाइम पे बच्चा। दूसरा, जो 4 बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पिलर्स हैं जो बच्चे के लिए बहुत जरूरी हैं, और जब भी बच्चे ग्रो कर रहे हैं, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है जो मैं यहाँ शेयर करना चाहूंगा, अटेंशन। कई बार क्या होता है, हम अपनी लाइफ में बिजी हैं, वी आर डूइंग लॉट ऑफ स्टफ, सबकी अपनी अपनी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ है, काम है, एंड वी डोंट गेट टाइम। और कई बार क्या होता है, हम शेयर करते हैं एज पार्टनर्स। अब चैलेंज उस केसेस में आता है व्हेन बोथ हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ इज वर्किंग, सो दे आर रिलाइंग ऑन डोमेस्टिक हेल्प, और दे आर रिलाइंग ऑन ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स। तो उस केस में क्या होता है, बच्चे को वो अटेंशन मिलता नहीं। तभी आप अडल्ट एज में कुछ बच्चों को देखोगे, आप मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज हैं, कुछ बच्चों को डिफरेंट डिफरेंट इश्यूज हैं। तो अगर आप मेडिकल टर्मिनोलॉजी में बात करो, तो अटेंशन ना मिलने की वजह से अटेंशन डेफिसिट डिसऑर्डर होता है, एडीडी बोलते हैं उसको मेडिकल टर्मिनोलॉजी में, एंड साइकियाट्रिस्ट को ट्रीट भी करते हैं। बट आई थिंक इसका सिर्फ एक ही ट्रीटमेंट है, आप बच्चों को अटेंशन दीजिए। व्हेनेवर किड्स कम टू यू, स्टॉप एवरीथिंग, पे फुल अटेंशन टू हिम। कई बार क्या होता है, मोबाइल पे बात कर रहे हैं, एंड आई पर्सनली डू दिस लॉट ऑफ टाइम, एंड आई एम वर्किंग ऑन इट, कि अब मैं मोबाइल पे बात कर रहा हूँ, और मोबाइल पे बात करने में मैं उसकी बात भी सुन रहा हूँ। सो आई एम चैटिंग टू समबडी बट आई एम लिसनिंग टू हिम, एंड ही नोज इट, एंड ही अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा ऐसा करा जा सकता है। वो एक मॉडल बिहेवियर पकड़ेगा, जहाँ पर वो भी जब किसी की बात सुनेगा तो वो भी कुछ करता रहेगा और सुनेगा भी आपकी बात, प्रिटेंड करेगा। एंड ये हुआ मेरे साथ। सो आई वाज चैटिंग with my boss at some point of time. He came to ask me in the middle of the work day. उसने मुझसे पूछा कुछ, and I was like हाँ. I said these words, and then I didn't listen to him, and then it went back. And then next morning when I went to him, he was watching some cartoon on mobile phone, and I went to him and I was talking to him, and he was like, he was okay, but he was constantly facing the screen. So बच्चे मॉडल करते हैं, मैंने जैसा बिहेवियर उसको मॉडल, उसने कंप्लीट बिहेवियर मॉडल किया। सो अटेंशन बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. बच्चे को अटेंशन दीजिए जितना भी आप दे सकते हैं. एंड दिस इज ऑन फ्रॉम माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस, इट रियली वर्क्स. एवरीबडी, in fact you and me also need attention at this stage. Every human being needs attention. तो बच्चों के लिए, क्योंकि उनकी पूरी दुनिया पेरेंट्स होते हैं, सो सारा अटेंशन उनको उनसे चाहिए होता है until they move out. स्कूलिंग जब शुरू हो जाती है, सो दे मेक फ्रेंड्स, वहां पर आप टीचर्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, एंड दे गेट टू स्पेंड सम टाइम आउट. बट टिल द टाइम दे आर 2.5 or 3, हर एक कंट्री में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लेवल पे स्कूलिंग स्टार्ट होती है. वो टिपिकली 2.5 आप किंडरगार्टन में बच्चे को भेजते हो, तो तब तक आई थिंक बच्चे को कंप्लीट अटेंशन आपका चाहिए होता है. तो आप स्लॉट करिए, फिर वर्किंग है आप, तो आप टाइम स्लॉट करिए जहां पर आप छोटे छोटे ब्रेक्स लीजिए. जैसे मैं आजकल वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहा हूँ, सो आई शेड्यूल सम टाइम 10-15 minutes. आई गो टू हिम, आई विजिट हिम ड्यूरिंग द डे in his room, talk to him for 5-10 minutes. How are you doing? How is your day? Simple basic questions. आप क्या कर रहे हो? Show that you are interested, show that you are attending to him. And then when he comes to, even if you are working, try and spare 5-10 minutes में कोई problem नहीं होती है. Until it's very critical, you can't just give him attention. Try and give him attention because it's very important and everybody seeks attention, especially kids really need attention. दूसरा बहुत important aspect है, वो है affection. So these are typically the 4 A's जिनकी मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. पहला हो गया attention, दूसरा है affection. तो प्यार बहुत जरूरी है, affection बहुत जरूरी है. बच्चे आपके पास आए, they should not feel fear approaching you. आप बहुत approachable होने चाहिए, and then every time they come to you, you should show your affection, your love, your care to them. It's very important to them because ये जो ऐसी force है, love is a force, affection is a force which nurture a kid. एक बच्चे को आप प्यार से बात करिए, उसको प्यार से रखिए, automatically he'll be healthy, his immunity system boosts. There are studies which talks about कि love, by unconditional love, the love that you give to your kids, it boosts their immunity system as well. Because initially बच्चों का कई बार क्या होता है, बच्चे प्रॉपर खाते नहीं है, न्यूट्रिशन प्रॉपर नहीं होता है, तो हमें नहीं मालूम उनका इम्यून सिस्टम कितना स्ट्रांग है कितना नहीं है. सो लव इज अनदर फोर्स, अनदर एनर्जी विच गिव्स अ लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन, लॉट ऑफ इम्यूनिटी उनकी बूस्ट होती है उससे. वो कंसर्न, वो केयर आपको दिखाना है उनको, so they need that. Okay, now third A is appreciation. So कुछ भी काम बच्चा करता है, आप इमेजिन करो when we were growing up, बच्चे जब हमें स्कूल में जब हम कुछ काम अच्छा करते थे तो हमें एक्सेलेंट, वेरी गुड स्टार्स मिलते थे टीचर से. सो आई डिडंट, आज मुझे समझ में आता है वो क्यों मिलते हैं. व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग अबाउट पेरेंटिंग मुझे समझ में आ रहा था. एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स टिल टुडे जब हम ऑफिस में कुछ काम करते हैं, हमें अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, रिकॉग्निशन मिलता है, वी लाइक इट. और ऐसे ही हमारी कंडीशनिंग होती है, राइट. सो जब हम कुछ अचीव करते हैं तो हमें अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, जब हम कुछ अच्छा काम करते हैं हमें अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, अपलॉज मिलता है. तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर किड्स. सो व्हेनेवर दे डू समथिंग, व्हाटएवर दे डू, बी इट अ स्मॉल थिंग, फॉर देम इट्स अ स्मॉल थिंग. सो आज की डेट में मेरा बेटा काफी कुछ I mean, he gets up in the morning and starts cleaning the house. I don't know, he watched some cartoon where the cartoon was teaching how to clean. Hygiene is very important, and he started doing it. And I went to him and I asked him, ये क्या कर रहे हो? So he said that मैंने सब कुछ clean किया है, पापा बताइए how is the cleaning? I have set up everything. And when I appreciate him, he feels very happy. And the next day he also do the same thing. So appreciation is very important. Kids need that. Please appreciate them, whatever they're doing. Of course, not for bad things. Explain them why it is bad, and then appreciate them for good things that they're doing. If they're listening to you, give them some brownie points. Like for example, if you do this, associate some incentives to it, so they understand that okay, when you put in effort, there is a reward. There is a promise of reward when you do work diligently. So these things indirectly they learn. They'll pick it up. Then the last whole thing is acceptance. Accept your child the way he is. Don't try to change him. Don't try to make him the way you are, because you don't know kal aapka bachcha kya banega. Of course we want to give best things based on what we know, but to me I think I can talk for myself. I don't even know everything. I don't know what is good, what is bad when it comes to higher things. So I'm still in the process. I'm learning and evolving. So accept your kids the way they are. Give them the best of what you know. Give them choices. Let them explore. Don't be very hard first. Okay, you have to become this thing, or you have to do things in this way. As long as they're not doing something wrong, as long as they're not doing something which is not acceptable at all, just monitor them, observe them with distance, and make sure that they have a free will they can operate, because everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants to do things the way they want. So give them that space and watch them, okay, so that they don't harm themselves, they don't do something which is not acceptable. Watch it from a distance, but accept them the way they are. Like for example, some parents differentiate. So I have just one kid. Most of you, I think some of you might have more than one kid. So they differentiate. ये अच्छा है, ये बेटा, बड़ा बेटा अच्छा है, छोटा बेटा अच्छा नहीं है. So don't do all of that, because what happens is that separates a kid from you. So especially ये होता है जिनके siblings है, उन्होंने देखा होगा कि कई बार क्या होता है, बड़े बेटे को बहुत अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, छोटे बेटे को अप्रिसिएशन नहीं मिलता है. कलर के बेसिस पे पेरेंट्स अननोइंगली, कोई पेरेंट्स चाहता नहीं है बट अननोइंगली डिफरेंशिएशन हो जाता है, which is not a good sign. So accept your kid the way they are. Nobody likes to change. अगर आपको कोई चेंज करने की कोशिश करेगा, ओके आप शुरू में इन्फ्लुएंस होकर थोड़ा बहुत हो जाओगे, बट अल्टीमेटली who you are from inner side, आप उसको ज्यादा चेंज नहीं कर सकते हो. सो एंड द किड्स आल्सो डजंट वांट दैट. सो मेक श्योर वी डू दैट. सो 4 A's के बारे में हमने जाना. we discussed about 4 A's, which are attention, I repeat, affection, appreciation and acceptance. कई सारा आप इंटरनेट पे सर्च करोगे आपको बहुत सारे और A's मिल जाएंगे, बट फॉर मी आई थिंक दीज आर द 4 पिलर्स. ये 4 पिलर्स होते हैं जो आपको ध्यान में रखने हैं. एवरी टाइम when you are interacting with your kid, just make sure that you have this in your head and then you attend to them. Make sure that you give full attention. Make sure that you show affection, your deep love. Make sure that you appreciate them, genuinely appreciate them with the concern and care, and then accept them the way they are. So ये सारी 4 चीजें होती हैं जो बच्चों को चाहिए होती हैं चाइल्डिश स्टेज में. अब थोड़ा सा मैं और थोड़ा सा बात करना चाहूंगा, बिकॉज ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है एंड ये मैंने काफी कुछ एक्सपीरियंस भी किया है. मैं एनएलपी के बारे में बात करूंगा. आई डोंट नो हाउ, काफी लोगों ने शायद एनएलपी के बारे में सुना होगा, काफी लोगों ने नहीं सुना होगा, तो मैं थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ बता देता हूँ एनएलपी होता क्या है. एनएलपी बेसिकली होता है न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग. इसका मतलब होता है, एन न्यूरो मतलब न्यूरॉन, न्यूरॉन मतलब ब्रेन की जो स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट होती है उसको न्यूरॉन बोलते हैं. लिंग्विस्टिक का मतलब होता है बोलने की कैपेसिटी, लिंग्विस्टिक एबिलिटी, जो हम भाषा यूज करते हैं, जो हम बोलते हैं उसको बोलते हैं लिंग्विस्टिक. देन प्रोग्रामिंग का मतलब एक प्रोग्राम. जब ब्रेन में बेसिकली अगर आप ब्रेन को समझेंगे, और ये मैंने अपने बच्चे के साथ जो भी चीजें एक्सपेरिमेंट करी हैं, जो भी चीजें ट्राई करी हैं, एक्सपीरियंस करी हैं अभी तक, जब मैंने न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग पहली बार पढ़ी थी, सो बिफोर इवन आई वाज अ फादर एंड दिस वाज 5-6 years बैक, जब पहली बार मैंने न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग पढ़ी थी पहली बार, तब मुझे समझ में आया था कि मेरा ब्रेन कैसे काम करता है. और इन अ प्रॉपर वे, मुझे एक स्ट्रक्चर तरीके में एनएलपी पढ़ने के बाद समझ में आया था कि मेरे बिहेवियर में जो भी चेंजेस आए हैं, या जो भी मैं बोलता हूँ, जो भी मैं करता हूँ, जो भी मुझे चाहिए वो मैं कैसे डिसाइड करता हूँ. सो एनएलपी से काफी क्लैरिटी आई थी. एंड देन आई रियलाइज कि जब मैं इस एज में, एंड आई वाज लाइक एट दैट टाइम, मतलब 5 साल पहले, 27-28 साल का था मैं, तो आई एम 33 नाउ. सो उस टाइम पे जब मैंने ये चीजों को चेंज किया, एंड इट्स बीन नाउ एवर सिंस देन, ये कंटिन्यूअस पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ माय लाइफ कि आई वॉच माई सेल्फ अ लॉट, कि मैं जो भी कर रहा हूँ, जो भी बिहेवियर आ रहा है वो कैसे आ रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है. सो कमिंग बैक टू एनएलपी, एनएलपी का बहुत बड़ा रोल है पेरेंटिंग में, न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग. तो अगर आप ब्रेन को देखेंगे, कोई भी चीज हम कैसे समझते हैं, हम समझते हैं अपने एनवायरनमेंट के थ्रू. जो बातें हम सुनते हैं, द वर्ड्स दैट गोज इनसाइड आवर हेड, व्हिच इज लिंग्विस्टिक. कोई भी एक ह्यूमन दूसरे ह्यूमन से थ्रू वर्ड्स इंटरेक्ट करता है, इसलिए लैंग्वेज बहुत बड़ा पावरफुल टूल है, कम्युनिकेशन बहुत बड़ी स्किल है. दूसरी बात आती है प्रोग्रामिंग. सो जो भी बातें हम सुनते हैं, कई बार क्या होता है, एक प्रोग्राम बन जाता है. जैसे एक सॉफ्टवेयर होता है, वो एक सर्टेन फंक्शन सर्टेन तरीके से ही करता है, और वो तरीका तभी अप्लाई होगा जब वो कमांड को आप हिट करोगे. आप ऐसे समझ लिए ब्रेन एक हार्ड डिस्क है. जब बच्चा पैदा होता है उसकी हार्ड डिस्क बिल्कुल एम्प्टी होती है. फॉर सिंपलर सेक, यहाँ पे काफी लोग, आई डोंट नो आईटी से है नहीं है, बट कंप्यूटर सबको पता होगा, हार्ड डिस्क सबको पता होगी. तो कंप्यूटर में डिस्क होती है जिसमें सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टोर होती है. तो जब आप बच्चा आता है दुनिया में, उसका ब्रेन एम्प्टी होता है, उसको वर्ड के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता होता है. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जब वो दुनिया में आता है, डिफरेंट तरीके के साउंड, उसके लिए वो एक नॉइज है, जो साउंड जनरेट होती है, वो म्यूजिक हो, वो आपके वर्ड्स हो. अनटिल अनलेस वर्ड की कोई आप मीनिंग दें, वो वर्ड आपके लिए कुछ नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मुझे चाइनीज नहीं आती है, कोई मुझसे चाइनीज में बात करेगा, तो मेरे लिए वो एक नॉइज है. मुझे कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा, क्या वो मुझे अप्रिशिएट कर रहा है, या मुझे वो क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, या मेरे लिए कुछ मैसेज दे रहा है. आई डोंट रियली अंडरस्टैंड. तो वो बच्चे को समझ में नहीं आएगा, राइट. सो आपको ये समझना जरूरी है, वोकैबुलरी जो है बहुत क्रिटिकल एस्पेक्ट है. तो न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग है, लिंग्विस्टिक जो वर्ड है वो आता है आपकी ब्रेन कैसे जो है डेटा को स्टोर करता है. सो कमिंग बैक टू, बच्चा जब पैदा होता है, हार्ड डिस्क बिल्कुल प्लेन होती है, धीरे धीरे चीजें भरनी शुरू होती हैं. और भरती कैसे हैं, जैसे मैंने अभी 3 तरीके आपको बताए थे, विजुअल, ऑडिटरी और कैनेस्थेटिक. तो बच्चे क्या करते हैं, जो चीजें देखते हैं वो ब्रेन में जाती है. सो डेटा कैप्चर होता है. न्यूरॉन्स जो है बिलियंस मेगाबाइट्स का डेटा कैप्चर करते हैं. एग्जैक्ट नंबर आपको इंटरनेट पे मिल जाएगा, बट इट्स ह्यूज. आप इमेजिन भी नहीं कर सकते हैं ब्रेन की कैपेसिटी क्या है. सो कॉन्शियस लेवल पे जो हमें याद रहता है, सबकॉन्शियस लेवल पे कैपेसिटी एंडलेस है, इट्स अनलिमिटेड. एनी नंबर ऑफ डेटा कैन गो, एंड हमें कुछ चीजें क्योंकि कॉन्शियस मेमोरी में होती नहीं तो हमें पता भी नहीं होती है। सिमिलरली बच्चों के साथ होता है, जब छोटे होते हैं बच्चे तो सारी चीजें स्ट्रेट उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में जाती हैं। इसीलिए मैंने जो अभी बातें बताई थी, मॉडलिंग जो आप कर रहे हैं बहुत केयरफुल रहना चाहिए, वर्ड जो आप यूज कर रहे हैं बच्चे सीधे एब्जॉर्ब कर रहे हैं और आपको बाद में पता भी नहीं चलेगा, और वो बाद में जब वो बड़े होंगे उनको वो पैटर्न अल्टर करते हैं, बिकॉज ये जो पैटर्न बच्चे बचपन में बनाते हैं, सो जो प्रोग्रामिंग बचपन में हो जाती है, और मैक्सिमम प्रोग्रामिंग सबकॉन्शियस माइंड की बचपन में ही हो जाती है, तो बड़े होकर उस प्रोग्राम को तोड़ना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, क्योंकि आपको पता ही नहीं होता प्रोग्राम में प्रॉब्लम क्या है, कौन सा प्रोग्राम आप रन कर रहे हो। इसीलिए आप देखोगे डिफरेंट एडल्टहुड में डिफरेंट पैटर्न्स होते हैं। कुछ लोगों को पब्लिक स्पीकिंग का फेयर होता है क्योंकि शायद बचपन में ये फेयर निकाला नहीं गया था, कुछ लोगों को प्रॉब्लम होती है प्रोनाउंसिएशन में, शायद बचपन में नहीं निकाला, कुछ लोगों में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फेयर्स डेवलप हो जाते हैं, पानी का डर हो जाता है, कुछ लोगों को जानवरों से डर लगने लगता है। सो मैं अपनी चाइल्डहुड की स्टोरी बताता हूँ। सो व्हेन आई वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ ट्यूशन, एक छोटी सी इंस्टेंस है और वो प्रोग्राम आज तक मेरे दिमाग में चलता है। सो आई जस्ट गिव यू एन एग्जांपल। मैं ट्यूशन से वापस आ रहा था एंड देयर वाज अ डॉग, किसी का पेट डॉग था, एंड आई वाज जस्ट कमिंग आउट एंड ही स्टार्टेड रनिंग, ही स्टार्टेड चेजिंग मी, एंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन माय लाइफ आई रैन लाइक एनीथिंग। मतलब इतना तेजी से मैं कभी नहीं भागा होगा, एंड वो फियर मेरे दिमाग में आज तक है। सो इट्स टुडे जब भी मैं कुत्तों को देखता हूँ, व्हेन आई सी द डॉग्स, आई फील स्कैर्ड, आई फील फियर हियर। क्यों? क्योंकि वो आज वो एक इंस्टेंस था जो बचपन में हुआ था, वो आज तक वो फियर को मैंने ओवरकम नहीं किया, और वो जब तक आप ओवरकम नहीं करोगे वो फियर हमेशा रहेगा। सेम चीज बच्चों के साथ होती है। तो जब भी आप बच्चों को डराते हैं डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरीके से, कुछ पेरेंटिंग स्टाइल होती है जहां आप उनको डराते हो, पनिशमेंट से डराते हो, तो कई बार क्या होता है वो नेगेटिव प्रोग्राम हो जाता है बच्चों के दिमाग में। सो आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि पनिशमेंट इज नॉट बैड, बट इट एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी इन मॉडरेशन। एंड पनिशमेंट अगर आप बच्चे की क्यूरियोसिटी से रिलेवेंट, कई अच्छी चीजों से रिलेटेड उसको पनिश करोगे जस्ट बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव टाइम, तो वो प्रोग्राम गलत होगा, एंड देन द किड विल, आगे जाके वो बच्चा इंट्रोवर्ट बन जाएगा, आगे जाके वो बच्चा क्वेश्चन पूछना बंद कर देगा, आगे जाके वो बच्चा अगर क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा तो उसकी ग्रोथ, उसका मेंटल लेवल काफी कुछ इफेक्ट होता है। तो एनएलपी में अगेन फिर से आते हैं, सबकॉन्शियस अनकॉन्शियस की मैंने बात करी, जो डेटा होता है वो विजुअल तरीके से जाता है, दूसरा ऑडिटरी तरीके से जाता है, जो बातें आप यूज करो, तीसरा फीलिंग से जाता है, इमोशन से जाता है। कोई पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंस अगर बचपन में हुआ, जैसे मैंने अपना इंस्टेंस बताया, तो वो हमेशा शुरू तक रहता है। अगर बच्चे को ये शुरू से आप इस तरह के स्ट्रक्चर और चीजें इस तरीके से आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे, उसके प्रोग्राम सही लिखे जाएंगे, एंड उसके लिए ये भी जरूरी है आपको सही प्रोग्राम बताओ। सो दैट्स व्हाई पेरेंटिंग में जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो सिर्फ ये नहीं कि today I became a father so I know it all. For me also it's an everyday process, so like I focus on my work, like I focus on how to manage my finances, like I focus on how to learn and grow, how to develop my skill. Parenting is also a part of my life and it has to be a part of life. Of course timing जो है priority wise ये ऊपर नीचे होता रहता है, but again it has to be scheduled, right? So आप हफ्ते में कुछ टाइम निकाल सकते हैं, like I read about parenting in terms of articles, listen to a lot of speakers who have given talks about parenting, because for me also it's a journey. I've started this process 3.5 years back and it's going to be for the rest of my life. So I have to be, and जब तक मेरा बच्चा completely मुझ पे dependent है, I think it's more than anything it's my responsibility. वो क्या model behavior करेगा, क्या वो सीखेगा, because ये सारा कुछ मेरे ऊपर है. And then अगर young age में मैंने उसके सही programs उसने लिखे हैं, he understand what is right, he is able to take decision, he is able to identify what are the right options, what is good, what is bad. I think I don't have to worry for the rest of my life. Problem parents का ये होता है कि जब आपके सामने बच्चा है तब तो आप देख सकते हो वो क्या कर रहा है, but imagine when he enters the world, he will interact with 1,000 different human beings, he will interact with different stuff, different things will come in his way. तब प्रॉब्लम आएगी। अगर आपने बच्चे को पेरेंटिंग के टाइम पे when he is growing up आपने उसको सही गलत नहीं सिखाया, डिसीजन मेकिंग सही सिखाया, सिर्फ इंस्ट्रक्शन दिए हैं, तो प्रॉब्लम होगी, बच्चा डिसाइड नहीं कर पाएगा, उसको हमेशा इंस्ट्रक्शन चाहिए होगी। सो जिससे भी वो इन्फ्लुएंस होगा अपनी एज में, वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस को ग्रास्प करेगा, एंड देन फाइनली व्हाट विल हैपन, ही विल डू दोस थिंग्स। सो ये बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है हमें जानना कि बच्चे का जब ब्रेन का डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है। एनएलपी के बारे में आप लोग, क्योंकि एनएलपी बहुत वास्ट टॉपिक है, मैं ज्यादा कवर नहीं कर पाऊंगा, but of course we can of course have to schedule another webinar to talk about NLP, but go search on internet NLP and parenting, it will really help. जिस भी एज में बच्चा है, NLP किसी भी एज में हेल्प करती है, पेरेंटिंग में हेल्प करती है, प्रोफेशनल करियर में हेल्प करती है, सो प्लीज लुक एट दैट, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है। नाउ आई गो बैक टू द टीनेज। नाउ ये स्टेजेस की मैं बात कर रहा था, इसमें मैंने NLP की इंपॉर्टेंस बताई। नाउ मैं दूसरी स्टेज में जब बच्चे जिनके टीनेजर्स हैं, तो जब अभी बच्चे क्या है कि व्हाट और व्हाई से आप बच्चे जो है व्हाई नॉट पे पहुंच जाते हैं। जो भी चीज आप उनको बताओगे, आपने शुरू में बताया अच्छा ये है और ये ऐसा इसलिए है, लेकिन अब जब बच्चे टीनेज होने लगते हैं, दे बिकम अ काइंड ऑफ, उनके अंदर रेबल आता है, प्यूबर्टी हिट करती है, हार्मोन्स का इन्फ्लेक्स होता है, एंड देन दे हैव देयर फ्रेंड, दे लिसन टू देम मोर देन दे लिसन टू यू, सो दे क्वेश्चन एवरीथिंग, अच्छा मैं ऐसा क्यों करूं, ये ऐसा क्यों है, सो व्हाई नॉट, मैं ऐसा क्यों नहीं करूं, आप उनसे कहेंगे लेट नाइट नहीं जगना है तो कहेंगे व्हाई नॉट, आप उनसे कहेंगे कि पढ़ाई बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, कहेंगे क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स राइट, सो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, हर एक पेरेंट के अपने अपने एग्जाम्पल होंगे, आप लोगों ने अपने बच्चों में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीजों को देखा होगा, बट why not, so from why to why not they move when they are teenager, and ये age adolescent की जो age है, teenage की जो age है, it's very critical, very important, क्योंकि biologically body में बहुत सारे changes हो रहे होते हैं, body is in flux with hormones, so you have to be very, यहाँ पर आपको एक पेरेंट की बजाय एक फ्रेंड बनना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव नॉट रीच्ड टू दैट लेवल, बट यस व्हाटएवर आई हैव रेड, व्हाटएवर आई हैव लिसन्ड टू फ्रॉम पीपल एंड व्हाट आई हैव सीन, एंड जब आज मैं रियलाइज करता हूँ, अच्छा व्हेन आई वाज ग्रोइंग अप, व्हेन आई वाज एट दैट एज, कुछ मेमोरीज में मैं जब कनेक्ट करता हूँ एंड आई थिंक अबाउट इट, देन आई फाइंड ओके, अगर ये ऐसा, it could have been better if I could have had some guidance. So उस केस में क्या होता है, अपने फ्रेंड से गाइडेंस सीख करते हो, आपका कोई बेस्ट फ्रेंड होता है, तो बट बेस्ट फ्रेंड को भी पता नहीं गाइडेंस उसको उसके फ्रेंड से मिल रहा है, या आप इंटरनेट से गाइडेंस वो लोग ले रहे हैं, क्या सही है क्या गलत है, लॉट ऑफ किड्स एट दिस एज पिक्ड अप रॉन्ग हैबिट्स एंड लॉट ऑफ किड्स पिक्ड अप गुड हैबिट्स आल्सो, सो ये एज काफी वल्नरेबल होती है, बहुत जिनके टीनेजर्स हैं, आई थिंक दे हैव टू become friends more than just a parent, connect with your kids, listen to them so that they should come back, and you allow them to make mistake, because for example अगर उनको इस चीज का डर है, if I do a mistake and I go to my father, I get scolded, they will never come to you, so give them that comfort zone, give them that comfort level so that you are approachable, they are allowed to do mistake, human beings are allowed to do mistake, hum aaj tak we as an full adult we also do a lot of mistakes, so if we are not allowed to do mistakes, we won't learn, of course you don't have to scold them badly, you have to make them understand, okay what did you learn from the mistake, so every mistake comes with a learning, so ये चीजें हमें सिखानी है, and अगर हमें खुद नहीं आता है तो हम उनको नहीं सिखा सकते, so I think when they are at the teenage stage, it's more important to become their friends rather than just being a father or being very instructive, ask them to comply, because they won't. हो सकता है आपके डर से when you scold them, they in front of you they do that, but yeah, they look for avenues, so जब वो आप नहीं होंगे तो they will end up doing the same thing until they clearly differentiate, okay this is not good, this is not this should not be done, so if they have that sense and वो बचपन से ही आपने उस तरह से उनको डेवलप किया है उनके माइंड को, तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, आप उनको कहीं भी भेज सकते हैं, and I have a lot of friends which I see मेरे एज ग्रुप में when I was growing up, they were very confident, they were able to take decisions, their parents were sending them alone like 13-14 years की एज में उनको बाहर भेज रहे थे, and they got exposure to international events and things, so this made me understand, okay अगर आप राइट एज में राइट तरीके से पेरेंटिंग करते हो, माइंड अच्छे से डेवलप करते हैं बच्चे विद, तो इट्स वेरी, इट अफेक्ट्स, आई मीन ओवरऑल उनकी लाइफ में काफी इफेक्ट होता है, अच्छी जो हैबिट्स आप इंस्टॉल करते हैं, तो टीनेज में एक चीज ये भी होती है कि डिपेंडेंसी थोड़ी थोड़ी खत्म होने लगती है, आप बच्चा कंप्लीटली आप पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं है, वो सारे काम अपने खुद करता है, उसका खुद का एक शेड्यूल होता है, उसका खुद का एक सर्कल होता है, सो डिपेंडेंसी डिमिनिश होना शुरू हो जाती है, ही इज नॉट कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट, ऑफ कोर्स रिस्पांसिबिलिटी आपकी रहती है, बट मोर देन अ फादर आई थिंक द रोल यहाँ पे शिफ्ट करना है, जैसा मैंने बताया, so we need to do that, then of course when it becomes adult, so आप समझ जाते हो what is क्या हर चीज के बारे में आप मोस्टली जानते हो, आप ये भी जानते हो कि ये क्यों करनी है क्यों नहीं करनी है, तो काफी क्लैरिटी आ जाती है एडल्ट स्टेज में, of course which is I think आज की एरा में with information overload getting a clarity is again a challenge, but we will not go to that level, but yeah as a full mature adult आप अपनी लाइवलीहुड रन कर रहे होते हो, you have a profession, बट यहाँ पर आपकी डिपेंडेंसी बिल्कुल खत्म हो चुकी होती है, बट आप इंटरडिपेंडेंट हो जाते हो, सो यू लुक फॉर योर पेरेंट्स फॉर certain things, rest of the things you look for yourself, and then you eventually you enter the age of being a parent yourself, so ये एक साइकिल है, ये एक प्रोसेस है, so right from first you were a child, then you became a parent, and then you have a child, and then it goes on and on, right, so it's a very big responsibility, एक बच्चे को बड़ा करना, एक अच्छी सहूलियत से सारी सहूलियतें देना, उसको एक अच्छा upbringing देना, it's a very very big responsibility, and we have been trusted by Allah, has given us that power to upbring a child, एक future generation को create करने की अल्लाह ने हमें नवाजा है, and I think we have to be very thankful, but simultaneously he trusted us with the responsibility that yes, we will nurture this kid, we will make him the best person possible, and then when he navigate the world, he will do the best things and contribute to the society, to humanity, and all of that. So this was all about the different stages of parenting, I think, which so I just quickly recap. So importance है होना चाहिए आपको 4 A's याद रखनी है बच्चों के लिए, which is attention, affection, appreciation and acceptance. आपको न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग याद रखनी है बच्चों को, कि बच्चों का माइंड न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग में बच्चे कैसे चीजें सीखते हैं, उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में कैसे चीजें जाती हैं. न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग आप थोड़ा सा डिटेल में पढ़िएगा whenever you get time and try and implementing in your life. It will really help. आपको सबकॉन्शियस कॉन्शियस माइंड के बारे में पता होना चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत, बच्चों के दिमाग में कैसे चीजें जानी है. न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग से आपको पता चलेगा. आपको अपने बच्चे का टाइप देखना है, वो ज्यादा विजुअल है, वो ऑडिटरी है, वो काइनेस्थेटिक है, वो कैसे चीजें समझ रहा है, कैसे सीख रहा है. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. And then different stages for different style of parenting. So it can't be just instructive. You have to become their friends. You have to become their support, right? So this is how it works at different stages. Now I'll move on to the next slide. So he's my son. I recently started developing. You can see at the left smiling. So I've recently started developing a habit. So आप सोने से पहले read something. तो कई जगहों पे कई कई कल्चर्स में ये होता है कि आप बच्चों को स्टोरी सुनाते हैं. बच्चे स्टोरी टेलिंग से बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं. तो प्रॉब्लम इज यू शुड हैव गुड स्टोरीज टू टेल देम. सो एवरी नाइट बिफोर दे स्लीप एक टाइम एलोकेट करना. ऑफ कोर्स आई एम इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ डूइंग दैट. अभी रमजान आ गए हैं, सो इट्स लिटिल चेंज नाउ फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. बट यस, द प्रोसेस इज जहां पर आप जैसे सोने की तैयारी. सो इट्स बेड टाइम. सो बेड टाइम बिफोर यू द किड fall into sleep, read something to him, say some stories. It's difficult because कई बार क्या होता है आपके sleeping time अलग है. But make sure that when you're putting the kids to bed, make sure that you spend 10, 15, 20 minutes before they fall asleep. Read them stories, get them a habit of okay, read something good. Because what happens is जब आप सोते हैं, सोने से पहले जो भी आप पढ़ते हैं वो आपके immediate memory में होता है. And then if you don't read, because सोने के टाइम में आप relax होना चाह रहे हैं, so make sure that you read them good stuff. Read them something which is not disturbing. Don't read them stuff which is stress level enhancement happens with that. Don't do all of that. So read them simple stuff, read them stories. Depending on the age group, I think ये habit बनाना बहुत जरूरी है. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, ये habit नहीं बनी. And then when I was traveling to different countries, I looked at a lot of foreigners. Their kids have that habit of keeping a book in hand all the time, even if on the lunch table they're sitting there reading up. And I had a friend जिनकी बेटी मतलब she reads a lot, and I always wanted, क्योंकि पहले मैं जब आई मीन 5-6 years बैक मुझे रीडिंग का इतना इम्पोर्टेंस समझ नहीं आता था कि क्यों लोग रीड करते हैं. फॉर मी रीडिंग वाज ओनली एग्जाम्स देना है, सब्जेक्ट्स को पास करना है, जो भी एकेडमिक्स में जरूरत है वो पढ़ने के लिए जरूरी है. एंड देन यू आर डन, यू डोंट हैव टू डू इट अगेन. दैट वाज माय साइकोलॉजी व्हेन आई वाज ग्रोइंग अप. But now I understand reading has to be the lifelong process. Like you do every other thing, watch TV, do whatever you are doing, reading has to be a part and parcel of your life. बस कंटिन्यूअस सॉफ्टवेयर को आप अपडेट कैसे करोगे नए डेटा के साथ. जितना ज्यादा नया डेटा ब्रेन में जाएगा उतनी प्रोसेसिंग बढ़ेगी, उतने डेटा पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे, उतने कॉम्बिनेशन बनेंगे, उतनी ही इंटेलिजेंस लेवल बढ़ेगी. सो रीडिंग की हैबिट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एंड आई रिसेंटली स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट. नाउ न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग से ही लिंक्ड है वैल्यू सिस्टम. जब आप बच्चे को बड़ा कर रहे होते हो, इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा बात करूंगा, ये हैबिट से भी रिलेटेड है वैल्यू सिस्टम. कि मैंने न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक में भी बताया था, एंड बच्चे फ्री विल बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो फ्रीडम देना बच्चों को, इस तरह का वैल्यू सिस्टम. टिपिकली ये मैंने कुछ पॉइंट्स हाईलाइट किए हैं, एंड हर इंसान का अलग हो सकता है वैल्यू सिस्टम. ये टिपिकल ये फिट होते हैं हर जगह पे. तो हर किसी को फ्रीडम पसंद है. तो फ्रीडम एक बहुत कोर वैल्यू है. अगर आपको फ्रीडम नहीं है टू एक्सरसाइज योर ओन चॉइसेस, यू आर नॉट फ्री टू एक्सपेरिमेंट, देन प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, आप एक रिडेंडेंसी बहुत ज्यादा प्रमोट कर रहे हो. एक बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट और बहुत हाउ डू यू से एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम आप प्रमोट कर रहे हो जो बहुत डाइवर्स नहीं है, जो बहुत ज्यादा इवॉल्व नहीं होगा. बट अगर आप नेचर ऑफ लाइफ को समझेंगे, इट्स कंटिन्यूअस एवोल्यूशन, इट्स कंटिन्यूअस ग्रोथ. सो फ्री विल होना बहुत जरूरी है, फ्रीडम होना बहुत जरूरी है. आपने चॉइसेस और डिसीजन लेने की पावर आपको बच्चे को सिखानी है, सो दैट ही इज एम्पावर्ड. आपने अभी भी देखा होगा, मतलब इवन अमंग इन एडल्ट्स, आप रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हो, आपको एक मेन्यू कार्ड मिलता है. how many of us are comfortable in taking the menu card and ordering it first? अगर 4-5 फ्रेंड्स एक साथ गए, especially आप पास ऑन करते हो, आप ऑर्डर करो, because we don't know, if we are bombarded with choices, we don't know how to filter those choices, and we don't know how to take decision. Because हमारी कहीं ना कहीं, especially for me, I think when I was growing up, हमें बताया जाता था कि ये करना है, rather than अच्छा ये options available हैं, what do you want to do. and then when we pick something, somebody was there to tell us, okay, ये आपने जो pick किया है मेरे हिसाब से इसका ये result हो सकता है, and then let them do it. And of course you have to watch them. It has to be in a controlled environment, because you don't know. I mean, it should not hurt them, it should not affect them in an improper way. So it has to be in a controlled environment, but give them choices. Don't just be instructive all the time. So freedom is very important, very critical. दूसरी सेल्फ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सिखाना बहुत जरूरी है, because when, and this has to develop, because when he goes into the world, if you're not self responsible, आप अपने choices and अपने actions की responsibility नहीं लोगे, then you put on a blame game, which is not good, and it's not good for growth also. So whatever decisions you're taking, make sure that you take responsible, so that you are accountable. And ये bringing में डालना बहुत जरूरी है, and ये value system होना बहुत जरूरी है, इससे बच्चे empower होते हैं. So when they take responsibility, and then leadership level पे when they grow in their career, it really helps, because the more they grow in their career, especially in the leadership, माशाल्लाह आप लोगों में से कई लोग होंगे बड़े senior position पे, your job is all about taking decisions, and decision making अगर आपने बचपन से नहीं सीखी है, वो ब्रेन को ये नहीं पता ये बड़ा डिसीजन है ये छोटा डिसीजन है. ब्रेन के लिए एक डिसीजन है. हर दिन आपके ब्रेन में ऑप्टिमल लेवल्स होते हैं, जहाँ पर आपका डिसीजन मेकिंग का एक कोटा होता है कि 4 से 5 डिसीजन आप ले सकते हैं. वो आप छोटे डिसीजन लीजिए, बड़े डिसीजन लीजिए, प्रोसेस सेम होता है मोर और लेस, right? So of course content vary करेगा, but more or less the process is the same. You have certain choices. Out of those choices, you have to eliminate something, and then you have to take an action. Be it getting ready in the morning, which shirt to wear, it's a decision. So most of the time आप देखोगे बहुत बड़े billionaires हैं, Zuckerberg for example, they wear a similar color t-shirt. A lot of public speakers, authors, you see them wearing the same color, because they don't want to, they don't want to waste that decision for the day. So this is very important. Now mutual respect, I think ये सिखाना बहुत जरूरी है, so that they don't violate the rights of anyone around themselves. ये value system बहुत important है when they navigate the world. They should treat everybody with respect, with love, with kindness. ये value system तब उनको आएगा जब आप उनको उस तरीके से treat करोगे, and whomsoever you meet, when in their presence you treat them the same way, because they model it, and once they model it, they understand, okay, whenever you're meeting somebody, or whenever you are interacting with somebody, you have to respect their rights and do that. So ये typical 3 points है. ऐसे value system सबका अलग अलग हो सकता है, but these are the things which I feel critical, and it's very important for empowering any kid at this stage. So you can use this as reference, and you can have your own value system and add to that list as well. Okay, one second guys. Okay, so as I said, मैंने इसके बारे में काफी बात कर ली है already. So it's a lifelong process. Learning, जो मैंने अभी आपको थोड़ी देर पहले बताया, learning के बारे में मेरे लिए reading सिर्फ ये थी कि I just exam pass कर लिया, पढ़ लिया, and now it's done. But by the virtue of my job, I ended up being a consultant, which means एक टाइम पे आप हेल्थ सिस्टम के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, दूसरे टाइम पे आप एक लॉजिस्टिक कंपनी के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, तीसरे टाइम पे आप एक न्यूक्लियर प्रोजेक्ट की बात कर रहे हो, चौथे टाइम पे आप एक ऑयल एंड गैस इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहे हो. सो कंसल्टिंग में बहुत होता है, डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज के आप प्रोजेक्ट करते हो, बट आपको मेथड्स पता होते हैं. सो ये अक्यूमेंट मैंने डेवलप किया बिकॉज ऑफ माय प्रोफाइल, एंड आई थिंक इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इट्स मोर इम्पोर्टेंट how to learn anything versus what to learn. So when you are teaching your kids something, I think focus on the method versus the content. With anything they are picking up, if they know the method, I think if they are good in applying the method, they can learn anything fast. And aaj ki date mein, because of my job, my role, I learn a lot of skills. So one day I am reading about finance, another day I'm reading about operations, another day I'm reading about, because as a management consultant you should focus, my job requires me to focus on all these aspects. So, and I am not an expert on one particular field, but as a consultant you need to advise your clients, you need to get a hold of, you need to understand how things connect with each other, because everywhere is a pattern. So you need to know how to identify pattern, and it's very important. अगर आप बच्चों को शुरू से उन चीजों के बारे में सिखाएंगे, उस तरह से उनकी अपब्रिंगिंग करेंगे, उस तरह से उनके सबकॉन्शियस प्रोग्रामिंग करेंगे, तो आई थिंक व्हेन दे ग्रो, उनको चीजों को समझने की जो कैपेबिलिटी है वो बहुत फास्ट होगी. आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल फ्रॉम माय चाइल्डहुड. आई हैड अ फ्रेंड इन स्कूल जो 2 घंटे पढ़ता था and used to finish up the syllabus and he used to remember everything, versus me, I used to ratify a lot. So मैं ratification काफी करता था, and I think till 12th class मेरी रटने की capability बहुत ज्यादा थी. So I used to just without even understanding as to ratification, and then जब आप exam देने जाते हो क्योंकि आपने रटा हुआ होता है फटाफट फटाफट सब लिख देते हो. But now and then later in my life I had problems, so I was struggling to understand things because I've never developed those things, and nobody has ever taught me. School में भी जो methodology थी at that time, I don't want to blame the school, they have given whatever they can, but I think somewhere they didn't somewhere the methodology was not the way it should be. I think if you don't know how to deconstruct something and then reconstruct it, it's very difficult, because these days you have access to information. You can know anything, you can learn anything. Either you can learn it through a teacher or you can learn yourself. And especially these days, everybody is locked down. I think thanks to the platforms like Coursera, edX, and all of that, you can pick up anything and learn. You can pick up in YouTube. I think so much of content available. Depends आप क्या choice लेते हो. So I tell you, about 5-6 years back when it was YouTube, it was mostly watching about Bollywood movies, watching about jokes, comedies, and all of that. And uh, till today, it's all about watching to different speakers, watching about different books, audio books. So it depends what you're watching. I mean, there's nothing wrong in consuming information, consuming the content, but depends what you're consuming and do you really know why you're consuming it and how it's going to help you out. So ये चीज बहुत important है and ये subconscious level पे develop होनी जरूरी होती है. मैंने ये develop इसलिए की because I got exposed to neuro-linguistic programming 6 years back, and then the same thing I'm trying to impart in my kid, because I'm not telling him okay you should read this versus this, but I'm telling him okay you should read when you should read, when you read, why reading helps. So that's why it's a picture of me and my son. We're trying to develop a habit of before we sleep we should read at least 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is. So initially you see here he's just making fun, he's just trying to laugh, he's putting my spectacles, he's trying to play with the book. But the idea is okay, before he sleep, the conditioning that I'm doing right now is you should take a book, and one day eventually he will also develop, I'm sure he will develop the reading habit, which is very important. Now, another important aspect, आपने सुना होगा अक्सर पेरेंट्स बच्चों से क्या कहते हैं, आप तुम पढ़ाई में कंसंट्रेट नहीं करते हो, तुम्हारा दिमाग कहीं और लगा रहता है, तुम पढ़ते नहीं हो, तुम लिखते नहीं हो, and all of that. We do that, and हमने भी ये सुना when I was growing up, and sometimes we also say that without even realizing हम क्या कह रहे हैं, क्योंकि just talk with the program, क्योंकि ये प्रोग्राम हमने बचपन में सुना तो हमने भी बोल दिया without even watching हम बोल क्या रहे हैं. So thinking and concentration, ये दो चीजें बहुत important हैं. And आप अगर देखेंगे, the book that I am holding in my hand is right now is How to Think. So I can send the link for reference if you guys want to read it. It's a very good book which talks about how to think. And until I and this concept, I think I went to my friend's place when I moved to Dubai, and I went to his home and I saw his son was very good. I mean, in fact, the perfect child according to me. And he was 7 years old. The way he was talking to me is making a lot of sense. He was not talking all this cartoon and stuff like that. He was having a very good conversation with me, and I could relate to the way his parents were growing him up. So his mother is a teacher and his father is working for oil and gas industry here in Dubai. So I went for lunch at their place and I interacted with their kid. And then I saw he recommended this book to me. In fact, he's given me this book and he wanted me to read. So the book is about how to think, and it was written long back. So any subject today, you have a book available. All you need to do is to go online and buy. It's so easy. Kindle, Audible, there are multiple platforms. So you have all these devices. You're connected with all these devices. It's just an intent. If you really want to learn, you have access. Whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to know, it's all available. So I learn every day. I learn a lot of stuff, and then I practice with my child. So that way I relearn. I learn for myself, and he also pick a lot of stuff by me learning. So this book talks about 6 thinking acts. So every time, what level of decision you're making. So I'm not getting into details of this book. You guys, if you want, the idea here is to teach kids how to think at any given situation. So because you will be encountered with multiple choices when he goes to the world, he will be bombarded with lot of voices. He will be bombarded with different teachers telling him different things, different people whom he interacts telling him different things. He should know how to think. He should know how to concentrate. Now, concentration is very typical, very for us also. We can't concentrate when we are doing stuff. So if you don't teach him how to concentrate, how do you expect him to concentrate? And for you to understand, for me to understand how to concentrate, we need to understand how mind works, because it comes from the mind. If somebody doesn't understand how mind works, they don't know how to concentrate, because mind is like monkey. It jumps from here to there to there. 1,000 different things running in mind at a given point of time. If you research, it's around 60 to 70,000 thoughts every minute comes in your head. Lots of them are related to past, lots of them are related to future, lots of are related to. So most of the time we lose the track of time and we don't really understand where our mind is shuffling. So concentration is very important, and it can only be learned when, as I said, like any other behavior, if your kids see you concentrating and focusing on something, they will also learn to do that. So let's say your kid is focusing more on more on playing, so he loves playing and he's concentrating there because he loves it, that's his interest. So instead of scolding him, try and develop the interest, because there are 2000 ways where you can develop an interest for anything. So like if today I developed the love for reading, which was not the case, if I can develop it at this age, I mean, with kids you can develop anything. um, Language, similarly, the language, how many language a kid can learn, as many as you teach them, because kids don't lack capacity, they don't lack intelligence, they are highly critical. It's we as an adult, we are limited, we are restricted because we grasp those things, those qualities when we were growing up. So learning, I think the message here is clear. Learning is a lifelong process. Don't have the structured learning approach. Teach them, give them options, teach them decision making, and develop a habit of reading. This is the most critical habit, I think. If you develop with your kid when he's growing up, I think he's done. If he has a knack of reading, I mean, if you look at all big billionaires, Warren Buffett, I mean, the biggest. Look at him. I mean, I don't have to introduce about Warren Buffett, the richest man, one of the richest men in the world. He reads 8 to 10 hours a day. That's what he does, and that's how he's able to take all these investment decisions. Look at Bill Gates. He take thinking week break. I mean, he goes for a break, spend a week with bunch of books, and talks to nobody. He goes to a separate house, and then he just spend time there reading, and that's how their brain is optimal. Their brain is a solution oriented, because how brain will give you any insight, anything. It's the content that you feed in. So what you goes inside your head, you process that, and then you come up with a solution. So that way, I think it's very important and essential you focus on that. Now, it's just taking time for the slides to upload. Okay, so as I said, be mindful. I think you are busy in your life, you have 100 different things going on, but when you have kids around you, you have to be mindful, because हमारी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ये प्रॉब्लम है हमारी अपब्रिंगिंग की। जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे तो कई सारी चीजें हमारे दिमाग में कंडीशन है, तो इसका रिस्पॉन्स ऐसे होता है, ये रिस्पॉन्स हम सोचते नहीं है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ somebody says a certain word, we get angry without even thinking, do we really need to get angry, do I have to angry at this time, can I afford to be angry at this time? We don't think when we get angry, right? It's a conditioned response, and हमारी बॉडी में, हमारे माइंड में ट्रिगर्स होते हैं. So minute somebody uses that word or somebody does that action, somewhere वो हमने मॉडल किया होगा जब हम when we were growing up, by looking at our father, by looking at our siblings. Doesn't matter, different environment में different चीजें हमने देखी होंगी, तब हमने वो मॉडल किया होगा, but that's how it is. So we have to be mindful when you react in front of kids. आप क्या बोल रहे हो, because kids are going to perceive it. So we have to raise, we don't have to be a reactive parent, we have to raise kids who are confident, who are kind. So we have to do that. As especially as I said, as parents, many of us at the time of stress, we react without thinking. We often yell at our kids, don't do that, because they will yell back at you, and I've seen this with my kids. So when I yelled at him, sometimes he yelled me back, and then I asked him why you're yelling at me. Then he said that, well, you are saying this thing to me, and then he's telling me that that day you also did the same thing to me. And then we spoke to each other and we discussed it. I had this issue with my son. I told him that, okay, we agree that we will not shout at each other. If we have a problem, you have to tell me this is a problem that you have, and I will also tell you. And mashallah, today he understands that, and he comes back that I have some problem, I want to talk to you, can I talk to you? He asks that, because I also do the same thing to him. And this happens when because he knows that 5 days I am working from home. So right now I'm on calls or I'm doing something important. So he comes, he doesn't shout, and he asks me. Some days, of course, there is a kid in him, so he behave in a different way, depends on his mood. But yes, it's picking up. He's picking up. He's learning that. But I tried to control it previously, but then I adopted a different approach. Explained him why I'm doing what I'm doing, why it is important for me to work, why work is important. I explained him all this. Why I'm working from home, because there's coronavirus. Nobody's going office, so I have to work here. And when I'm working, I'm interacting with other people. So he understands, and he behaves accordingly. So initially I was thinking, He would not understand why I have to explain him all these things. But the point is not whether he understands or not. The point is it goes in his subconscious head, and slowly and gradually you start understanding those things. Because now, if you look at how kids learn how to talk, right? You never taught them, but if they are in the environment where whatever language is spoken, they pick up those words. So I'll tell you, my kid picked up, is slightly late in picking up the linguistic. So I was worried, okay, he's not speaking, but now he was with his grandparents for some time, and he picked up the complete language, now speaking full sentences. And then he came there. I was worried, okay, why he's not talking English? And now he moved to the way to 3 months back, and now he's watching English cartoons. He's talking to me in English. Now he's picked up English very well, mashallah. So he's speaking full sentences, and some of the words he comes back and speak to me, which I have never taught him. So he's learning from the content that he's watching. So of course, I make sure that what content he's watching, I keep a watch on it. As long as he's watching different stuff, which is changing, building up his vocabulary, he's teaching some good stuff, it's okay. Of course, we have to keep a track on the screen time. We have to keep discipline the kids. But yes, I think as long as it's helping him grow, because I also learn that way, so it's fine. So we have to do that, and then when children experience a parent reacting with kindness and patience, they learn to act. As I said, I've given you example. They also learn to act with kindness as well. So that was from the real time experience, which I thought I highlight here, and I've seen it especially during the work from home days, and I'm sure in India also, and people from different parts of the world who have joined here, they are also facing the similar situation with kids around them. It's a little bit hectic, and then the work also has increased. For me especially, I don't know about you guys, for me it's increased. It's more than the work from home culture. Okay, so I think I'm going to sum up my talk now. Almost done with what I have to say, and then we move the flow to questions if you have any. So as I said, it's parenting requires us to have patience. It's really a patience. I mean, let me tell you, sometimes I give up. I give up, and then I try to yell. Sometimes I yell. Sometimes I just move away, because yelling is not what is recommended. But it requires a lot of patience with kids. You know, they ask questions, doesn't make sense, you don't understand. You have to connect. You have to be patient, and slowly and gradually you'll pick up the language of the kid. You'll understand what they're trying to say, and they also get patience with you. So it's modeling, right? What you do, you keep the same. Be persistent. Don't give up. So if they don't listen, don't just give up. Okay, I'm going to scold him. I'm going to try the hard way. Don't do all of that. It's not going to help, because it develops a negative behavior in the kid. And the minute your kid starts detaching from you, that's the problem. It's always good that your kid do a mistake and he comes back and tell you, so that you can correct it, explain him. What if we do, because of a fear of not getting scolded, he won't come to you and he do the same thing. That's worry. I think I would never want that, and I would never recommend that. Pay attention, as I said. Remember the 4 A's. It's very important. Everybody needs attention. Kids needs a lot of attention. So if you are work, make sure that you tell them when you are going to be with them, play with them, schedule time with your kids, which is very important, because it requires a bonding, and bonding will only develop when you give time, like any other relationship. Just because they are your kids, automatically, yes, they are bonded at a biological level, but yes, you have to develop it. It's an ongoing process. It can't be like one day job, or you have done now, this task is finished. No, it's not like that. Be friendly. As I said, at different age group, you have to be very friendly with your kids. Give them an environment, give them an affection, give them, that you are approachable. This is very, very important, because if the environment is not friendly, I think they would be scared. There would be some parents, I don't know about you guys, but some parents, I've seen some of my friends' father, they were like very strict with their kids, and they were like very scared to approach their father, very scared to ask even the right things. Not do that, right? Because you even don't like that kind of behavior. Somebody behaves in a different. Imagine your boss is not approachable. How will you feel? How will you like? So it's important, right? To do that way as well. Extend support wherever you can. So offer them help. And I recently started doing this. So whenever my son is doing something, I always go to him and ask him, "Do you need any help?" And he always say, "No, I don't need any help." And then he does the same thing. He comes to me and asks me, "Do you need any help? Can I help you?" Especially, when I'm brushing my teeth, he comes, "Okay, let me give you your brush. Let me give you toothpaste." All of that. So these are small things, but yes, I'm teaching him so that he has that. Okay, you should help others. You should extend your support. So same habit will inculcate in him when he'll grow up, and he'll do the same thing with the rest of the world when he interact with them. Give unconditional love. Needless to say that as parents, we all give that. So just continue doing that. It's very important. It's a very powerful force. Biologically, also it helps in immunity. And don't impose. The last thing is don't impose things. Don't impose restriction. Tell them what is right, what is wrong. Watch them. There is a level where you have to say no, yes. Make them understand why you're saying no to certain things. Okay, so I think I am pretty much done. Now I think we can open the floor for questions if we have any. Shazad bhai, if people have any questions and if we have time, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Afaq bhai. And 3.5 year journey as a parent, and a session like this on parenting is just fantastic and mind blowing, to be honest.
Thank you.
Just give me a few minutes so I can start the Q&A session quickly.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so I've got a question here.
Okay.
How to schedule kids' time during lockdown?
Okay, this was the first question when the lockdown got started. So what you can do, I think, with kids is typical their bedtime and their wake up time. Make sure that you try to schedule that. Give them certain activities and tasks. So especially somebody has to be with them if the kid is not in the habit of doing things alone. Because the challenge is you don't give, if the kid is alone, especially for me, my kid is, I have just one kid. So most of the time my wife is with him, watching him. Sometimes he's watching certain cartoons, which he watches every day. So he has his time. Then he plays video game for certain time. Then he plays some kind of a how do I say, role play where he becomes a restaurant owner or he becomes a construction worker. So I have a few toys for him, and I tell him, okay, Ahan, his name is Ahan, by the way. So I tell him, okay, Ahan, what are you doing right now? So he comes back and say, okay, I'm opening a restaurant. He serves meals in the lunchtime to me. So try do that mix and match of it, I think. And explain them, okay, tomorrow you will do, like, you schedule your day, so sit for 5-10 minutes with them, or maybe your wife can do that with the kids. If you're working, you don't have time, tell them, okay, today we are going to do these things. Because imagine when they were going to schools, they have a schedule. So 7 a.m. they have to get ready, 8 they have to be in school, then they have certain periods, then they have to follow those things. So similarly, and now they are staying at home, make sure that you give them different activities. And if they have different choices, I think they that will occupy their time. And if they have very limited choices, they will hold on to one particular activity. And this has happened with me. I'm sharing a real experience. So my son was got into mobile a lot because I didn't have a lot of options, and then I realized, no, it's not good for him. So I started giving him multiple options. So same way you can have multiple activities for him. Tell them, okay, today you're going to do this, today you're going to do this, today become this. And then in the evening time or whenever you have time, just participate in those activities. So that way, I think you can do that. And of course, based on, this has to be done based on understanding the interest level of your kids. So what they are interested in. It's not straightforward for all the kids. So based on likes and dislikes, what do they prefer for girl child versus a boy? Different activities can be planned. So do that. You can also take help of the teachers. These days, I think a lot of schools are doing classes online. So that's where the kids get their time schedule. But indoor, a lot of things can be done. I think the role plays, as I said, you can make them become something, be with them, one day make them become something. That lots of activities can be tried. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. What are the quick learning age? Can you please describe?
I think for me, I think learning is a lifelong process, as I have described already. But the lot of programs at a subconscious level, which is a deep learning, it happens when the child is growing up. And the lot of scientific studies says that the overall development, the brain develops till the age of 7, some says till the age of 9. So, but 70 to 80% of the brain development happens by that age, and then remaining 10%, when you go to different other age groups. So it's very important when the child is growing up. 3 years, 4 years, and then when they start picking up words, when they start speaking, it's very important. That's why I said just go and little bit learn about neuro-linguistic program. You should feed the right program, the right vocabulary, the development of how to think, development of how to concentrate, development, because these are the very important skills. Reading habits. Because if they have a reading habit, they can read fast. They can find a solution for everything. I mean, look at Elon Musk, for example. This guy says, okay, whenever I need to find something, I just read. So this is, I think, as I said, up to 9 years, it's very critical. Because the development of brain is happening, subconscious brain, there are no filters, all the information is going inside, and it's deep seated, so it becomes automated. So make sure that you develop those habits during that age, and don't just teach them, be with them, do with them, because they're going to model it. So don't tell them read, you also read. You also schedule a time to read. This is my reading time, and tell them, okay, well, would you like to join me? Don't impose, you have to read with me. Ask them, give them, ask them that you are asking, you are requesting them, you're asking them, do that. It really helps. With my son, if I tell him, okay, come read, he will never do that. If I go, okay, Ahan, would you like to read with me? I'm going to read for some time. Initially he says, oh no, I want to play. Okay, you play. Once you're done with the play, come back. Sometimes he come, okay, let's go read. Sometimes he voluntarily comes and say, Papa, let's go and read. So it's a mix and match. You have to try 2,000 things with your kids, because they are at the creative stage, at this stage group. So you have to become creative, find out what works for your kid. And this will only happen when you observe them a lot. If you don't observe them, you will not know. And if you're not spending a lot of time with your kid, I think if the mother is spending a lot of time, ask guidance from them, discuss with them, and then practice with this kid. Okay?
Thank you. I'm going to club two questions together now, as it is from the same person. How to decrease screen time, and if at all we give screen time, what should they be seen?
Okay, so I think it's the, so let's say when I was growing up, we didn't have these mobiles, we didn't have these LED TVs and all of that. So there was very less screens, all those CRT TVs, and that too limited options. So what we were used to do is to play a lot outside. But considering the culture, considering the world today, we are surrounded by screens. You can't avoid it. And especially for me, I think, and everybody who's working from home these days, our kids see us sitting in front of the computer all the time. For work, we are sitting, we know that this is important, but for them, okay, what my father is doing is sitting all the day in front of the screen. So for them, it's difficult to control a lot of, because if you impose, what are the options do they have, and how do you change, because there are limited activities that they can do at home. So I think making them understand, because my worry was, okay, he may end up wearing spectacles, his eyesight may get weak. But then I connect, and of course you may differ with this opinion, when I look at, okay, if I am working all the time in front of a screen, and if I'm watching the right things, if I'm looking at the right things, does it really matter that okay, I'm spending too much time on the screen? As long as I'm taking care of my eyes, as long as I'm eating the right food, as long as my eyesight is okay. And by the way, the glasses that you see here, these are not, I don't have any power. These are just reading glasses which I wear just to protect myself from the screen. So my worry was only, okay, his eyesight should not be affected. He should not watch anything which is misleading. He should not watch wrong content. So that's what I keep an eye on. But having said that, I also tell him, okay, you should not only do this. You should do different things. So sometimes it's, if I measure in terms of percentage, okay, sometimes he's out of 10 things that he's doing in a day, or out of 5 things he's doing a day, majority of the time he's spent on the screen. Sometimes he's doing something else majority of the time. So it's a mix and match. So you have to give them an option and to tell them. Because if you don't engage them with certain other things, they look at things which are easy. So watching a screen is easy, right? So you're just consuming information. You're just sitting like this and just consuming. So you're not moving. So try and give them different options where so I also play football inside the house. Of course, the ball is very soft, but I play with him. So that sometimes in the night when I get time over the work, I play football with him. I play table tennis with him. So you have to give them all the things, all the options. Because if you don't give them a variety, they get bored very easily. Child, okay, this thing, okay, I'm bored now. I want different thing. I want, because their mind is very curious, right? They want to try different things, and it depends on their mood as well. So sometimes if he's watching overly, I try and explain him, but I really don't be very strict at him, because if I do that, I think he'll get annoyed and he will behave in a different way. So try and maintain a balance and give them a lot of options. So if they have a lot of options and choices, of course they will. And then you have to engage, depending on the age group, how connected you are with your kids. I think you need to engage with them. If you engage with them, that's where you control the stuff. You, okay, I'm going to do this, let's play with me, and all of that. So that way I think you can. Does that answer your question? I think I was trying
Thank
to.
you. Yeah. How to make children pray with interest or voluntarily?
Okay, so this can only, as I said, like any other behavior, it's completely depend on, are you praying 5 times a day? Are you so what happened is, when my son came to Dubai, so every Friday I used to take him to the mosque, and he was very excited. So he knows that, okay, if it's Friday, that's what my experience is. So he was very excited. He used to take shower the way and get ready for the Friday prayer, and then he used to go with me, and then he was very excited to see, and then he used to just watch people around him and then do that. And then in Ramadan, now we are offering prayer at home. So after yesterday as well, so when I was praying, he came, he was looked at me, he was trying to disturb me, and then after the prayer got over, I explained him, Ahan, uh, I'm praying right now, so we should pray in Ramadan. If you like, you can pray with me as well. Why don't you? So I didn't say that you have to pray. I told him, okay, we have to pray. This is what culturally, as Muslims, this is our first, and I explained all these things to him. And then he started, no, I mean, mashallah, yesterday night when I was praying, he came next to me. He was just doing what I was doing. So that way, I think they model you. So if they see you, like my son look at me for everything that I do, and he does try to do, mimics me. So the prayer is the same thing. If you offer prayer in front of him, explain him before you're going to prayer, ask him, would you like to come for a prayer? We should do, as a Muslim, it's our responsibility to do prayer. Explain the things to them, and then ask them if they want to join, and then give them some time. Okay, don't just be hard on them. Don't just be strict on, you have to do that. Because what happens is, when you restrict them, then they rebel. When you give them a freedom, let them see that value. Okay, why we pray? Explain them. We pray because of Allah, because this is our responsibility. Allah has created us. Try and give them explanation. The more you explain, because they have a lot of questions, right? So if you answer most of their questions, they will voluntarily come and do that. So that way, I think what you say is what you do. If you offer prayer 5 times a day in your home, explain why you're praying, ask them, come and join me. Inshallah, they will definitely do it. My son, in fact, has started doing it, and I'm sure he will continue to do that. And of course, it depends on me also how religiously I continue. Because after Ramadan, a lot of people, I don't know about others, so we miss the prayers. So if we do that, they will also think, okay, we are allowed to do that. So if you really want your kids to pick up something, you really have to do that. So that's how typically it works, especially when the kid is growing. Once they are adult, that's a different thing. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. I've got a question from Farida Nalkhan. I'm unmarried, but I have seen many parents not able to give time to their children because of their job.
So okay, so I think this is a challenge, I think, and it's practical as well. There's a very good question and a practical question. I think what we need to see is to divide the responsibilities. So especially this is a problem when both the parents are working. So how do you make sure that you give enough time to your kids? So a lot of parents, what do they do once they are back from work? They make sure that they spend time with their kids. A lot of parents in weekend, they make sure that they put work, their priority is to spend time with the kid. You have to schedule something like you do any other thing. I think you have to have a time, you have to dedicate time for your kids, because otherwise what will happen, they will look after. So let's say if you have a domestic help, you have somebody who's looking after the kid at your home, they will be more attached to them, because for kids it's they are very pure. For them it's बेसिकली जो उनको अटेंशन देगा, जो उनको अप्रिशिएट करेगा, जो मैंने 4 A's बताए, वो उनकी तरफ इंक्लाइन हो जाएंगे. सो you need to find time, and sometimes it's challenging. So you and your partner can split among yourself. So sometimes your partner can be with him, sometimes you both can be with him, sometimes you alone can be with him. So that way you have 3 options, where one you are giving time, where your partner can do what he wants to do, or other stuff that he or she has. Then you both together, it is very important, as both as a family bonding, both parents giving time to the kid, and then she alone. So that way you have three sessions, three three options where a kid is with the parent, one of the parent or both the parent. So that way I think you can do. I hope that answers the question. Can you move on to the next, please?
Yeah. How to handle a stubborn child?
Okay, so sometimes my kid also gets stubborn. What happens is when a kid is stubborn, I think you have to leave him for a while. Try to be, don't lose your patience, don't show anger. Try to explain him, and then this won't change overnight because the kids become stubborn. He must have seen something. Must have acquired that behavior from the environment because you are not born with this quality. Okay, no kid is born with a stubborn quality. He must have seen it, maybe unconsciously. We might have like for example, I'll give you a very classical example. So हम बच्चों को गोदी में कब लेते हैं नॉर्मली जब वो रोते हैं, राइट? सो हमने क्या बिहेवियर उनके अंदर डाल दिया कि इफ दे वांट्स टू कम हमारी गोदी में, अगर उनको आना है, सो दे हैव टू क्राई. सो हम उनको तब क्यों नहीं लेते जब वो मुस्कुरा रहे होते हैं? हम उनको तब क्यों नहीं लेते हैं? मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल, आई डोंट नो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग एवरीबॉडी इज डूइंग दैट, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल बच्चों को गोदी में कब लेते हो, अटेंशन को कब देते हो? जब वो रोते हैं. तो टिपिकली आप देखोगे जब बच्चा बड़े होने लगेगा, कुछ बच्चे सम्मान फेंकते हैं, कुछ बच्चे शोर मचाते हैं. सो दे डोंट नो, उनको ये नहीं मालूम है कि शोर मचाना इज अ बैड थिंग. उनको ये मालूम है व्हेन वो जब शोर मचाएंगे तो आप उनकी बात सुनोगे, आप उनको अटेंशन दोगे. तो जो बच्चे स्टबर्न होते हैं कहीं ना कहीं वो पेरेंट्स से वो बिहेवियर उन्होंने एक्वायर किया होता है, या अगर पेरेंट्स के साथ ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड नहीं किया when they were growing up, they have acquired it from the grandparents or acquired it from the people who were around them. So you have to make sure that you have to be very patient with the stubborn kids. You have to make them understand what they're doing, may have consequences, explain them, and then अगर बच्चा स्टबर्न है आपको स्टबर्न होने की जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि वो इन द एंड वो बच्चा है, आप पेरेंट है, रिस्पांसिबिलिटी यहाँ पर आपकी है. So give patience, be patient with them, give them options, choices, try and explain them a lot, connect with them, and at certain point I'm sure बच्चे जो है ये आदत रिकवर करेंगे. बहुत सारी आदत एकदम से नहीं जाती हैं because वो पिकअप हो जाती हैं. So you have to rewrite the program, show them, be patient with them, try to talk to them, connect with them, and then of course eventually they will change it.
Thank you. We are running short on time, so we'll take another few questions and then we'll end the session for the day. So I've got a question from Nawabuddin. Sometimes if it is in excess, then beating or scolding is a solution. Is it the right way?
I think if it's strict, I think best is scolding. I would not recommend to scold your child. Yes, you have to raise your voice. Yes, you have to explain him. But I think if your kid is not something, what I do typically, I just separate him. So let's say, for example, I put him in a different room and tell him, okay, now we are not going to talk to you because you are doing this. And for my kid, it's very important that we talk to him. So at in the age of what he does, I think जब वो गुस्सा होता है तो वो चला तो जाता है, okay, मत बात करो मुझसे and all of that he says, but then he comes back. I had a choice to scold him, I had a choice to tell him, but उससे होगा क्या, मैं उसके अंदर एक fear develop करूंगा, उसके अंदर मैं अपने आप को less approachable बना दूंगा. So what will happen eventually, he will, every time he has to ask something or every time he has something, he will not come to me because he knows that कि अगर उसने कुछ गलती करी है या फिर कुछ problem है उसके साथ, मैं मेरे पास आएगा तो मैं गुस्सा करूंगा या मैं उसको मारूंगा. So I would not recommend that. That's not what I generally want. And of course, इससे हमें लगता है कि immediate solution आपको मिल जाएगा शायद, but वो बच्चा फिर क्या करेगा, वो behind your back he'll start doing things when you are not there. So that's a complete no for me. I think I really want to be aware what my son is doing, good or bad, so that I can correct him rather than I'll come to know from somebody else or I come to know by accident. I don't want that. So I would not sincerely recommend to scold the kids. You can raise your voice, you can explain them, you can sometimes it works to just put them in a different room, just say, okay, you have to stay here since you haven't done, nobody's going to talk to you, don't talk to them, be silent. I have practiced this also. So when my son does something which I don't want him to do, I don't talk to him, and then he comes and after a certain time he comes to me and talk to me and try to talk to me, and I always say that I'm not talking to you because you have done that. And that's how I make him realize that he did something and that's why Papa is not talking. And then he apologizes, okay, I'm really sorry, please talk to me, and he does all sort of things. So I think, and previously I used to just scold him, but I've never believed that. I used to shout at him, and then I realized that he started shouting back also at certain instances. He shout like crazy, and I was like, why is he shouting? And then I realized at some point in time I have also shouted at him. Maybe I was stressed with work, or maybe I was not liking what he was doing, or maybe he has thrown something, or maybe he has done something which was not acceptable to me, or maybe he has just thrown away the thing which was very important to me, or maybe he just thrown away the mobile phone, maybe he's put something here and there. So, but said all of that, I think I would definitely not recommend that. Try and position your kid, just be silent, tell him why you're not talking to him. Try these different things instead of scolding him.
Okay. How much time per day or type of time should we spend with kids from toddler to teenage of old children?
I would say as much as you can. I think kids never dislike you as parents. None of the kids, of course, my son would like to play with me all the time. It's just that I separate him because of the work. So there's no ideal time here. Whatever flexibility you have for practical purposes, I think if you're working right now these days, it's a challenge working from home. So you have to decide what time he gets up, what time he sleeps up, so that before he sleeps, I would recommend please spend 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever time you can. When you're putting him to bed, speak with him, cuddle him, kiss him, share some stories with him, talk to him. So me and my son, we try to sit in a balcony and okay, let's talk. So I tell him, put the mobile off, let's talk. And he also, sometimes he comes to me and will say, okay, Papa, let's go and talk. We both will talk. And what he talks is different. He starts with, I taught him, okay, how was your day? And he starts with me with the same question, how was your day? So you can try as much time you can give. There's no hard and fast that this much time is mandatory or something. Do what is practical for you, what is feasible for you, and wherever you are. But when they sleep, at least when they are trying to sleep, going to sleep, spend some time with them. Talk to them for a while if you have not given time to them throughout the day. In the morning when they gets up, this is what I do. I make sure that when he gets up, I am with him for 5-10 minutes. Just ask him, how was your sleep? Are you able to sleep? Then I try to make sure that I brush teeth with him most of the time. So our brushing time is very, very religiously we follow. So we brush in the morning, we brush at night. That's sacrosanct for me. So sometimes I forget. He comes and remind me, let's go brush our teeth. So small things, do it with your son. So breakfast time. So when I have a weekend, I make sure that I eat breakfast with him. Now these days with Ramadan, now this will discontinue, but after Ramadan you can start that. So prior to Ramadan, we used to do that. We used to sit on breakfast, lunchtime, we sit together. Okay, do you like this? And when I'm eating, I was telling him, okay, this is healthy, this is not healthy. So now he's telling me, okay, cucumber is healthy, or vegetables are healthy. This is not healthy. Cold drink is not healthy. So so you have to, when you're communicating with the kids, I think try to find different times of the day where you can spend time. So be as little as possible. It's not something that okay, this is hard and fast that you have to spend that amount of time. If you have a lot of time, please do spend with them. Some of the big celebrities and Bollywood stars, you see that they have complete day over the weekend. They don't work, they just be with their kids. So it's up to you, your priority. I think weekend mostly, yes, it's all kids time. So that way, I think it's entirely depend on your situations.
Thank you. I'll take a last question for the day from Arif Raichur. How to develop reading habits in children?
Yeah, that's a difficult part. So first of all, and I think talked about it during the webinar. For me also, the reading was not a habit at all. So what I did was I got exposed to very senior profile people, so at my work, and I looked at them. Seriously, it came as an inspiration. So I looked at them, this guy, the CEO of a company, and he was very smart. I attended his presentation and he was talking very well, and he was having a lot of knowledge. And then after the presentation, I went to him and I asked him, okay, I seem to be your presentation were very good, and how you were able to talk so fluently, how you were able to have know so much. So he told me that I read a lot, I make time to read, and that was, I think, the trigger. And it was like 6-7 years back when I was in Bangalore. So it was then, and then from then leading to another, and then I read about all these successful people. One thing was common, which was reading. So I got inspired, and then I started reading. And then when I started reading, I started to see the benefits. And then when it's transformed into me, and then of course it's with my when my son was born. So when he was kid, I used to play a lot of audiobooks. So because I knew that words goes into the subconscious head. So most of the time I play songs also, but I also play audiobooks. So I have a portable speaker, so I play audiobooks. So even if he's not attentively listening, I know that it's going in his subconscious head, and he will pick those words. So, and then when, of course, as I said, before I go to sleep, I pick up a book and I tell him that, okay, this is my reading time. I'm reading because reading helps this. So I share with him, whether he's listening, whether he's understanding, it really doesn't matter. It just goes straight into his subconscious head. So what I would recommend, I think you also have, you schedule this reading time, especially with your kid if it's possible, and read with him before sleeping at least 10-15 minutes. Doesn't matter how long you read. What matters is a habit that you're inculcating. So before you sleep, pick up a book, just read 1 or 2 pages or 5 pages, whatever it is. And slowly and gradually, he will develop that. And don't impose what to read and what not to read. Let them read anything that they want. As long as it's not something which is not acceptable, let them read, okay? So for kids, I think 3 to 5 years doesn't make sense. It's just stories, books, some vocabulary. And I also used to play word for the day with my kid. So I just start, okay, the word for the day is amazement, and the word for the day is amused, the word for the day is abandoned, whatever. So I start with the word for the day and tell him, and once or twice or thrice in a day, I remind him, okay, what's the word for the day? He repeats. And what does that mean? This is what it means. So that way, I think you do what you want your kids to pick up. And I tell you, one of my friend, I told this story as well. Her daughter reads a lot, and because her mother was a writer, so she reads, and that's why her daughter reads, because she saw her reading, she saw her have that love for reading. And you see, most of the doctors, their kids tend to become doctor. Some of them not, but yeah, they're model. So if you're reading at home, you're talking to your son about this, of course they will pick up.
Okay, thank you so much, Afaq bhai. And we still got few questions, but due to lack of time, we won't be able to cover them in the
No
live
problem.
session. We'll try to send it across to you on your email, and
Sure,
possibly if you get time, you can respond to that, so we can send
sure,
it
sure.
to the participants.
Of
Thank
course,
you,
of
Mr.
course.
Afaq bhai, for being a part of AMP Web Talk. It was an honor to have you with us. We will,
Thank you so
inshallah, be
much.
looking for more such sessions in future as well.
Inshallah,
I
inshallah.
hope that you will be able to give your time, your precious time to AFP, inshallah.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
to all the participants, it was fantastic to have you all on board AMP Web Talk. We have all our past Web Talks links saved on our website. You can always check them on our website, www.ampindia.org/past_Web Talks. And we will keep you updated about our upcoming Web Talk as well, inshallah. So thank you so much for being on board. On behalf of Association of Muslim Professionals, I wish each and everyone who's present here Ramadan Mubarak, and may Allah accept all our prayers, all our namaz, all our sadaqah and zakah that we will be doing in this holy month of Ramadan. Remember everyone in their prayers, in your prayers. Thank you so much for your time. This is Shehzad
Thank you.
signing
Thank
off
you.
from AMP Web Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.